Chapter 619. A powerful beauty Zhenlong world, Purple Emperor Bamboo, and Yan Hanwu were all under Shi Baoer's management. Even if Yan Hanwu wanted to enter Zhenlong world, he had to get Shi Baoer's permission. Yan Hanwu didn't care about this. Of course, there were some difficulties. It wasn't easy to send people into Zhenlong world. Fortunately, he still had the Immortal Pagoda's space. The Immortal Pagoda's space was now very vast. In the Immortal Pagoda's space, the Golden Eagle, Little Gold, the 9 Frost Centipede, and the others were all cultivating. Even the illusory Cloud Rat was working hard. Are we going back now? Since she had already obtained the Coiling Dragon Grass and obtained great benefits, Gu Shaoxian said to Yan Hanwu. She was a little worried about Yuji's safety and didn't know how she was doing now. Yan Hanwu was also worried. Yuji's poisoning didn't harm her, but Yan Hanwu was worried that someone would harm her. Zitian wouldn't let Yuji go so easily, let alone himself, Hu Xiu'er, Jing Qiushuang, and the others. If there was someone Zitian hated the most, it would undoubtedly be himself. As for the second and third, it would be Hu Xiu'er and Jing Qiushuang. They all had the same identity, and that was Zitian's former fiancée. However, they became Yang Hongwu's women. This made Zitian lose face. Therefore, he wanted revenge. Crazy revenge. Yang Hanwu had to die. Hu Xiu'er and Jing Qiushuang would also suffer his revenge. However, Yang Hongwu's strength made him very wary and terrified. He didn't expect Yang Hongwu's growth to be so terrifying. Originally, Zitian thought that he could make Yang Hanwu obediently submit by controlling Yuji. He didn't expect that Yang Hanwu would become the disciple of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion's leader and have Tengaku as his brother. Even the patriarch of the Z family couldn't do anything about it. He was furious, but there was nothing he could do. He had only promised Yang Hanwu to kill him in the Immortal Palace ranking tournament to divert his attention and distract him. He still had to do what he had to do. Okay. Yang Hanwu nodded and replied, "It's good to go back early." Although Yuji was in the God-destroying peak and basically no one dared to barge into the God-destroying peak, Yang Hanwu was still somewhat worried. He had a bad feeling about this. Every time he had such a premonition, something bad would happen. Yuji had been captured before. This time, could it be that something had happened to Yuji again? Yang Hanwu put Luli into his divine dwellings, then grabbed Gu Xiaoshuan's hand and said, "Hold my hand tightly, don't let go." Yang Hanwu planned to use the Greater Shift Talisman to leave this place first. The 10,000 Dragon Valley was densely packed and there were tunnels everywhere. Although Yina was there, Yang Hanwu did not dare to be careless. As long as he got out of the 10,000 Dragon Valley, he could use the flying boat, which would be much faster. Therefore, Yang Hanwu wanted to use the Greater Shift Talisman to teleport out first and then use the flying boat. The Jade Talisman emitted a strong light, and the power of the Jade Talisman erupted. Yang Hanwu and Gu Shaoxian were wrapped together by spatial energy. Boom! Suddenly, the spatial energy began to vibrate. The entire space began to tremble violently, and Yang Hongwu's face changed greatly. Damn it, how could something happen at this time? Could it be that I can't use the Greater Shift Talisman here? Yang Hanwu cursed. If this was the case, he was afraid that he would be in huge trouble. If he fell into the spatial turbulence, his life might be in danger. And if he was lucky, even if he could survive, he did not know where he would end up. If he kept drifting in the spatial turbulence, he did not know when he would be able to find it. He might even wander in the spatial turbulence for the rest of his life. That was a very terrifying thing. Yang Hanwu immediately sent Gu Shaoxian into the space of the Immortal Pagoda. Only in the Immortal Pagoda could he protect her. As for Yang Hanwu himself, his physical body could not enter the Immortal Pagoda's space. Only his soul could enter. Therefore, Yang Hanwu did not enter. Instead, he activated his true dragon armor and took out all of his treasures to block this terrifying spatial energy. This terrifying spatial energy collided continuously, and Yang Hanwu was hit by a huge force. That powerful force injured Yang Hanwu quite badly, and he spat out mouthfuls of blood. Damn it! Even a level 2 supremacy had no way to fight against the power of the spatial turbulence. They were not on the same level at all. Yang Hanwu smiled bitterly. Was he going to die in this spatial turbulence? No, he could not die. He had to live on. Boom! Another loud sound rang out, and a crack appeared in the space. A huge suction force came from that crack, and Yang Hanwu was sucked in. Boom! Yang Hanwu felt that he was breathing in air, and he fell from the sky. Then, with a loud sound, Yang Hanwu felt a strong impact. Boom! Water splashed everywhere, and Yang Hanwu's body fell into a huge pool. Who's there? A furious female voice came out. She raised her jade-like hand and slapped towards Yang Hanwu. Feeling the danger of his life, Yang Hanwu woke up in an instant. Damn it, what is this place? Why am I so unlucky? Yang Hanwu discovered that he had actually fallen into a huge bath. This bath was filled with petals, and there was only one woman bathing in the bath. This woman had a graceful figure, her voice was also very beautiful, and her cultivation was very strong. At this moment, she was extremely angry, and a terrifying power erupted from her white jade-like hands. If he were to be hit, it would be no laughing matter. True Dragon Armor, open. Jingshan Finger, Third Finger, World Annihilation. Yang Hanwu roared, and gathered all the cultivation in his body. He condensed a powerful force, and it turned into a huge finger. This huge finger stabbed towards the woman's hand. Boom! The two forces collided. Yang Hanwu's body stagnated, and in the next moment, he flew out like a kite with a broken string. Emperor technique? Seeing Yang Hanwu use Jingshan Finger, a trace of surprise flashed in the woman's eyes. Then, she stepped on the water and appeared in front of Yang Hanwu. Then, she grabbed Yang Hanwu with her hand. Who are you? How dare you show up in my bathroom? Zhao Miao Miao said coldly to Yang Hanwu. Her right hand erupted with power, and Yang Hanwu was imprisoned. Chapter 620. Condition: I'm sorry, Mississippi. I didn't do it on purpose. Yang Hanwu hurriedly explained. Although he knew that his explanation wouldn't have any effect, he still had to say it. Shut up. I'm asking who you are. Zhao Miao Miao's eyes were cold. If you don't answer my question, I'll kill you. My name is Yang Hanwu. Because I used a teleportation talisman, I was swept into the spatial turbulence and accidentally fell here. I really didn't want to peek at your privacy. Yang Hanwu smiled bitterly. He hoped that this woman wasn't the kind of unreasonable person. Teleportation talisman? Teleportation talisman? Who are you trying to fool? How can you come out alive after entering the spatial turbulence? Zhao Miao Miao didn't believe him. Speak. Are you sent by that pervert Duan Sansi? I'm really not. I'm the disciple of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion's leader. How can I be sent by that pervert? Moreover, I've never heard of that Duan Sansi you're talking about. Yang Hanwu saw that this woman's eyes were filled with killing intent. This made Yang Hanwu jump in fright. If he was killed by this woman just like that, it would be embarrassing. Tianyi Immortal Mansion? You're the disciple of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion's leader? What proof do you have? Zhao Miao Miao released her hand but still coldly looked at him. This was the Cloud Rain sect. She was the sect master of the Cloud Rain sect, Zhao Miao Miao. Although the Cloud Rain sect wasn't one of the 7 great sects, its strength wasn't small. Zhao Miao Miao's strength was ranked among the top in the entire ancient region. The Cloud Rain sect was the only other sect in the entire ancient region besides the 100 Flowers sect that only accepted female disciples. In the past few days, the disciples of the Cloud Rain sect had been targeted by one of the 4 great perverts of the ancient region, Duan Sansi. 2 female disciples had already been killed but Duan Sansi wasn't caught. Therefore, Zhao Miao Miao was very unhappy. At this time, Yang Hanwu actually peeked at her bathing. How could she not be angry? She treated Yang Hanwu as a perverted thief. If it wasn't for Yan Hongwu's low cultivation, but the fact that he had cultivated the powerful Jingshan finger and blocked her attack, then Yan Hongwu would have already died in her hands. It's very easy to prove this. Yan Hongwu took out the identity jade card of the Tianyi Immortal Abode and handed it to Zhao Miaomiao. Zhao Miaomiao took a look and said, "How do I know that this isn't fake? If it doesn't work, you can use the communication jade talisman to contact the Tianyi Immortal Mansion. Wouldn't that be enough to verify it?" Yan Hongwu said. "So what if you're a disciple of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion? You barged into my house and peeked at me bathing. Just this alone is enough for me to kill you. Even if you're the leader of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion, you still deserve to be killed," Zhao Miaomiao said coldly as she looked at Yan Hongwu. If Zhao Miaomiao hadn't finished bathing and Yan Hongwu hadn't seen anything, she might have really killed Yan Hongwu directly. "Miss, I really didn't do it on purpose. Moreover, I didn't see anything." Yan Hongwu was shocked. He really couldn't escape from her now. If she was determined to kill him, he would have no choice but to reveal his final trump card. If you did it on purpose or if you saw anything, do you think you'd still be alive now?" Zhao Miaomiao snorted coldly, "It doesn't matter if you saw it or not. You still barged into my Cloud Rain sect. Moreover, you're in my house. I, Zhao Miaomiao, am the sect master of the Cloud Rain sect. If this matter were to spread, where would I put my face? So it's Sect Master Zhao. May I know what Sect Master Zhao wants?" Yan Hongwu looked at Zhao Miaomiao and said. Yan Hongwu had heard of the Cloud Rain sect. The Cloud Rain sect was slightly weaker than the 7 great sects, but it was quite famous. The entire Cloud Rain sect was filled with women, just like the 100 Flower sect. In the entire ancient region, there were only 2 sects that only recruited female disciples. Moreover, there wasn't a single man in the entire sect. The Cloud Rain sect was one of them. I should have killed you or thrown you into the water prison and never let you out. However, since you're a disciple of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion's leader, I can give you a chance," said Zhao Miaomiao. "Please say it," said Yan Hongwu. If the condition she proposed was not too excessive and he could fulfill it, then it was fine. However, if it was too difficult and he could not fulfill it, then he would have to think of another way. "Help me catch a person. As long as you can help me catch him, I'll let you go. Moreover, I'll give you some benefits," said Zhao Miaomiao. "However, if you fail, then you can't blame me. You can only stay in the Cloud Rain sect's water prison." "Alright, I promise you." "Who do you want me to catch?" When Yan Hongwu heard that she wanted to catch someone, it was not difficult for Yan Hongwu. One of the 4 great perverts, Duan Sansi. Zhao Miaomiao gritted her teeth at the mention of this person. That bastard dared to provoke my Cloud Rain sect. Furthermore, he has already harmed 2 of my Cloud Rain sect's disciples. I must capture him and tear him into pieces. Catch perverts? When Yan Hongwu heard that, he realized that it was so. No wonder Zhao Miaomiao was so angry when she saw him earlier. A perverted perverts had designs on Cloud Rain sect's disciples. If it was anyone else, they would also be very angry. Yan Hongwu had never heard of the 4 great perverts. "That's right. As long as you help me catch that Duan Sansi, I can let bygones be bygones," said Zhao Miaomiao. Yan Hongwu rolled his eyes. He did not do anything. However, Yan Hongwu would not say it at this time. Zhao Miaomiao was currently in a rage. If he angered her at this time, he did not know what would happen. An enraged woman was very terrifying. What are the characteristics of Duan Sansi? What is his cultivation? What other abilities does he have? Yan Hongwu asked. As the saying goes, only by knowing yourself and your enemy can you win 100 battles. In order to catch Duan Sansi, he had to first understand Duan Sansi. You have not even heard of the 4 great perverts? The 4 great perverts could be said to be notorious. In the entire ancient domain, it could be said that there was no one who did not know of them. Although Duan Sansi's cultivation was only ranked 3rd among the 4 great perverts, his reputation was greater than the other 3. This was because Duan Sansi had once plucked the wife of the head of the Gongsun family, which was the head of the Gongsun family. Moreover, he had even cut off her head in front of the head of the Gongsun family. This was undoubtedly a provocation to the Gongsun family. Therefore, the whole Gongsun family went out to capture Duan Sansi. However, they didn't expect that the Gongsun family would fail to capture Duan Sansi. What made the head of the Gongsun family vomit blood was that the old ancestor of the Gongsun family was in a critical state of cultivation. No one knew how the old ancestor of the Gongsun family found out about this, which made the old ancestor furious and killed him. Chapter 621. Hu Qing'er, P.S. Sorry, in the previous chapter, the Gongsun family was written as the Duan family. It's not convenient to change it, please forgive me. Yang Hanwu shook his head embarrassedly and said, No, I just entered the ancient domain not long ago. I came from the ancient desolate continent. Ascended from the ancient desolate continent? Zhao Miaomiao was a little surprised when she heard this. However, after thinking about it, she understood. If he could ascend from the ancient desolate continent, he must be very talented. This wasn't strange. If he wasn't talented, he wouldn't have been chosen by the leader of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion and become his disciple. Yes, I just entered the ancient domain not long ago. Therefore, I don't know many things about the ancient domain. As for the 4 great obscenities, I have never heard of them. However, I will try my best to help, Yang Hanwu said. Not try your best, you must catch that bastard. If you can't catch him, you can forget about leaving the Cloud Rain sect for the rest of your life. I am a man of my words. Even if the leader of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion comes, he can't change my decision. Zhao Miaomiao looked at Yang Hanwu and said, Therefore, don't feel lucky. Wait for the leader of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion to save you. Zhao Miaomiao told Yang Hanwu some information about the 4 great obscenities. She also told Yang Hanwu about Duan Sansi's most powerful technique. Duan Sansi's strength wasn't that great. However, the reason why he could be so arrogant and no one could catch him was because he had a spatial divine ability and a strange poison. This strange poison had a shocking effect on women. If one's strength hadn't reached the 9th level of the divine realm, they wouldn't be able to resist this strange poison. Of course, there was another technique, which was the art of disguise. This was also one of Duan Sansi's ultimate techniques. His art of disguise made it difficult to distinguish between the real and the fake. This guy has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. Yang Hanwu was very surprised by Duan Sansi. He didn't expect this obscenity to have so many tricks up his sleeves. Spatial divine ability, this made Yang Hanwu very surprised. Seemed like it was even more overpowered than his Great Shift Talisman. His Great Shift Talisman couldn't be used in many places, but this guy's spatial mystic arts could be used anywhere. Otherwise, he would have died long ago. He had offended so many people, and there were countless experts among them. He was probably already on the list of the 4 major immortal residences. He was the target of the entire Righteous Path's martial artists. If he did not have any strength, he would have long since turned into a pile of dirt. Of course. Otherwise, do you think I would be so angry? Zhao Miaomiao said. If it were so easy to catch, I wouldn't have asked for your help. You just said that Sansi has set his sights on the Cloud Rain sect, right? Yang Hanwu said. Yes, Zhao Miaomiao said. Gather everyone now, Yang Hanwu said after thinking for a while. The disguise technique was powerful, but it could not escape Maoer's delusion breaker eye. Even a supremacy could not escape it. One had to know that Maoer's delusion breaker eye had evolved. Only a saint expert could resist it. That guy was so arrogant that Yang Hanwu suspected that he was already in the Cloud Rain sect and had disguised himself as a female disciple. All right, Zhao Miaomiao nodded. Before long, all the disciples of the Cloud Rain sect, including the elders, were gathered by Zhao Miaomiao. In the entire Cloud Rain sect, Zhao Miaomiao held absolute authority. No one dared to oppose her. It could be said that the Cloud Rain sect was Zhao Miaomiao's Cloud Rain sect. Without her, the Cloud Rain sect would have been destroyed long ago. the Cloud Rain sect disciples saw Yan Hanwu beside Zhao Miao Miao. It was a man. Could he be that damned obscenity Duan Sansi? Sect master, everyone is here, a female disciple said. Very good, Zhao Miao Miao nodded. Master, who is this man? Is he that damned obscenity Duan Sansi? A female disciple asked when she saw Yan Hanwu. She was wearing a long red dress. Her large breasts were especially eye-catching. Her eyes were big and watery as she held a long whip in her hand. She was Zhao Miao Miao's second disciple, Guahong Yun. Yang Hanwu rolled his eyes when he heard that. How did he become an obscenity Duan Sansi? If he was an obscenity Duan Sansi, he would have been tied up long ago. This woman was really big-breasted but brainless. No, he is Yang Hanwu, the disciple of the Tianyi Immortal Manor's leader. I found him to help catch that obscenity Duan Sansi. Zhao Miao Miao still gave Yan Hanwu face. This allowed Yan Hanwu to heave a sigh of relief. Yan Hanwu. I seem to have heard of this name before, a delicate female disciple said. You have? Junior sister who, you can't have taken a liking to this fella, right? That's right. Although this fella's cultivation base isn't that great, his looks are still passable. Furthermore, he is the disciple of the Tianyi Immortal Manor's leader. His status is very high. He is worthy of our junior sister who, another disciple said with a smile. Yeah, not bad. I'm serious. Hu Qing'er said in a bad mood. Oh right, I remember now. When I went to 100 Flower Sect that day, I heard Sister Xiu'er mention it. Sister Xiu'er? You mean junior sister Hu Xiu'er? Your Hu clan's sister who came up from the ancient desolate continent. Yes, I remember Xiu'er saying that her husband is called Yang Hanwu, Hu Qing'er said. Who knows, it might really be him. Let's ask and we will know. Okay. Hu Qing'er nodded and looked at Yang Hanwu. That, junior brother Yang, have you heard of Hu Xiu'er? When Yang Hanwu heard Hu Qing'er's words, he was a little excited. He immediately asked, of course. She is my wife. Have you seen her before? You are really Sister Xiu'er's husband? Hu Qing'er was overjoyed. She did not expect that the matter her sister asked her to inquire about would be settled. Hu Xiu'er wanted to inquire about it herself, but she did not have the time. She had to go into seclusion to cultivate. Therefore, she asked Hu Qing'er to inquire about Yang Hanwu. However, to Hu Qing'er's surprise, Hu Xiu'er said that Yang Hanwu was only in the early stage of the primordial spirit realm back then. Now, he was already in the Dao Foundation realm. Such a cultivation speed was too shocking. Even Ao Tianyi and Tai Yuanyi could not compare to him. There was only one person who could compare to him, and that was Zi Tian, the descendant of the old ancestor of the Zi clan. He was the peerless genius of the Zi clan. He had just ascended from the ancient desolate continent for less than a year, and he had already reached the god realm from the primordial spirit realm. Such a cultivation speed was definitely unprecedented. What was more shocking was that this guy's battle prowess was abnormal. He was only in the middle stage of the god realm, but his battle prowess was not even a match for a peak god realm expert. He had even defeated a second-step Reverend Realm Elder. Chapter 622. A formation to trap the enemy. Yes, I am, said Yang Hanwu. Have you seen Xiu'er? How is she now? She's fine. What evidence do you have to prove that you're Xiu'er's husband, that Yang Hanwu? Hu Qing'er was not so easily fooled. She was also not someone who would easily believe others. If he could not produce evidence, she would not believe him. Of course I have evidence. As Yang Hanwu spoke, he took out a jade pendant. This jade pendant was unique. In fact, it was also a jade talisman, a special jade talisman. Yang Hanwu's jade talisman was a dragon-shaped jade talisman. As for Jing Qiushuang and Hu Xiu'er, they also had phoenix-shaped jade talismans. These jade talismans contained a trace of their own soul. Sure enough, Hu Xiu'er had already told her about this matter. How are Xiu'er and Xuan now? That Zetian didn't go to the 100-Flower sect to cause trouble, right? This was what Yan Hanwu was concerned about. He knew that Zetian would definitely not give up so easily. Therefore, Zetian must have also inquired about the 100-Flower sect. Don't worry, they're fine now. Zetian did go to the 100-Flower sect. However, he was suppressed by the sect master of the 100-Flower sect. For the time being, there's no problem. However, that might not be the case in the future. Thus, it's best that you make a trip to the 100-Flower sect in the near future, said Hu Qing'er. Yan Hongwu smiled bitterly. If he did not capture that pervert Duan Sansi, even leaving the Cloud Rain sect would be a problem. How could he possibly go to the 100-Flower sect? I didn't expect that you're actually Xiao'er and Shuang'er's husband. This is rather surprising. Zhao Miaomiao looked at Yan Hanwu and said. The sect master of the 100-Flower sect, Zhao Piapiao, was actually Zhao Miaomiao's elder sister. The two sects had been on good terms for generations. She had never thought that Yan Hanwu would have such a relationship with Jin Qiushuang and Hu Xiao'er. Back then, she had been very envious of her sister for having taken in two good disciples. She had wanted to take in one of them and nurture him to become the next sect master of the Cloud Rain sect. However, her sister had refused to agree and had even angered her. It was only later that she found out that it was a favor from a great emperor. That was a favor from a great emperor. The Cloud Rain sect did not have a great emperor and had never produced a great emperor. Of course, the 100-Flower sect did, and the 100-Flower sect once owed a favor to a great emperor. The things that Hu Xiao'er and Jin Qiushuang brought were the tokens that the 100-Flower Great Emperor had given to that great emperor. As long as one brought the tokens, they would have to agree to the other party's request unconditionally. To Zhao Piapiao, Hu Xiao'er and Jin Qiushuang had excellent aptitudes. Even without the token, she would have accepted them as her disciples. For a sect master, being able to receive a good disciple was definitely a dream come true. Especially geniuses like Hu Xiao'er and Jin Qiushuang, they were definitely hard to come by. Sect master, you know them too? Yan Hanwu was surprised. How about this? You let Qiushuang be my disciple and I won't make things difficult for you. How about that? Zhao Miaomiao said. Yan Hanwu shook his head and said, this is up to her. Although I'm Shuang'er's husband, she can make her own decisions. I won't interfere. To Yan Hanwu, as long as it was beneficial to them and not harmful to them, Yan Hanwu would not interfere. Moreover, he would not force them. Do you believe that I won't let you leave? You're their husband. As long as you're here, I don't believe that they won't agree. A light flashed across Zhao Miaomiao's eyes as her lips curled into a smile. Yan Hanwu rolled his eyes. This beautiful sect master was really something. She actually used such a method to threaten others. However, it was useless against Yan Hanwu. Now, let's deal with the problem at hand. We'll talk about it after we find that Sansi. Yan Hanwu said. Alright, but don't worry. As long as we can find that pervert, I won't make things too difficult for you. Of course, if you can't find him, you can only stay here with me. Or, you can let Qiushuang be my disciple. Zhao Miaomiao did not leave the topic. Yan Hanwu smiled and did not say anything. Instead, he used his mind to communicate with Mao'er. Mao'er, what did you see? Brother, I've found him. He's in the crowd and has disguised himself. Mao'er said. Oh, who is it? Yan Hongwu's eyes lit up and said. It was good that they found him. However, they had to prevent him from leaving. Therefore, Yan Hanwu thought about it and decided to set up a formation first. It's the old woman sweeping the ground at the foot of the wall. Mao'er said. Yan Hanwu looked out of the corner of his eyes. Although the old woman had a cultivation base, it was not high. Moreover, she was sweeping the leaves step by step with a broom in her hand. She did not seem to have any flaws. Her acting skills had reached such a level. She was definitely at the level of a best actress. Mao'er, is there any way to trap that guy? That guy has the same spatial divine art as you. I wonder how he compares to you. Yang Hanwu asked. Mao's spatial divine art was not easy to break. She could even use it in the Earth Spirit Palace. In the Earth Spirit Palace, the space fluctuated greatly and it was easy to fall into the space turbulence. However, it did not affect Mao. Therefore, Mao's spatial divine art was absolutely shocking and powerful. However, the teleportation talisman was much inferior. If it were not for the teleportation talisman, he would not have fallen into the Cloud Rain sect and been caught by Zhao Miaomiao. Well, it's actually very easy. That guy's space divine art is definitely not comparable to mine. My space divine art belongs to my natal divine art, while he acquired it through cultivation. Because he has a space attribute battle body, he has cultivated a special secret technique that allows him to escape into space and perform teleportation. Although it's a little stronger than Big Brother's great teleportation talisman, it's not without flaws. As long as we use the space sealing formation to seal the space, he won't be able to escape, Mao said. If it was so easy, he would have been caught long ago. Yang Hanwu was a little doubtful. The reason why that guy was so arrogant and had not been caught all this time must be because he was extraordinary. If the spatial sealing formation could seal the space, would he still be alive? Yang Hanwu was doubtful about this. You're so stupid. You cultivated the I Chi into Trinity secret technique and can switch between the original body and the doppelganger. Do you think you're the only one who can do it? Sure, Bauer said. Yang Hanwu slapped his head when he heard this. That's right. If this guy also had a secret technique similar to the I Chi into Trinity secret technique and could switch between the original body and the doppelganger, he would be able to escape if the original body was trapped. If that was the case, it would be impossible to catch him. However, how could they trap him like this? Formation. Yes, there were also special formations. Chapter 623. Exposed. What's the most suitable formation? Yang Hanwu asked. That's easy. A spirit-locking formation and a space-sealing formation are enough, Bauer said. These two formations aren't very powerful. They're just average among the Tier 7 formations. Will they be able to trap him? Yang Hanwu was a little worried. That fellow was extremely famous. He had never been trapped even once. Would these two formations be able to do the same? Of course. Don't think too highly of him. In fact, he's not worth mentioning if we catch his weakness, Bauer said. All right, I'll believe you. Yang Hanwu nodded. He still believed in Bauer's words. Bauer was much more knowledgeable than Yang Hanwu. She could be said to be very knowledgeable. Sect leader Zhao, I've found a clue, Yang Hanwu whispered to Zhao Miaomiao. Oh? Who is it? Zhao Miaomiao's eyes shone with a cold light. She had found the person. That was good. She would definitely let him die without a burial ground. No, she should make him beg for death. If she let him die so easily, it would be too easy for him. A pervert was the kind of person she hated the most. Yang Hanwu said, I can't tell you now, but I'm going to set up two formations. That guy's spatial divine ability is too powerful. In order to prevent him from escaping, I'm going to set up the formations first. All right, we'll do as you say. Zhao Miaomiao was a little uncomfortable. If that guy was really in front of her, she would be able to catch him. However, after thinking about it, that pervert was indeed powerful. So many people had not been able to catch him, so there must be something extraordinary about him. It was best to be fully prepared. What are you going to do? How can I help you? No, there's no need. Yang Hanwu shook his head. Make everyone stay still and divert their attention. We can't alert him. I'll set up the formations secretly. That's easy, Zhao Miaomiao said. After everything was prepared, Zhao Miaomiao diverted everyone's attention while Yang Hanwu quietly began to set up the formation. As a 7th grade array master, it was not difficult for him to set up an array without making a sound. In particular, Yang Hanwu had cultivated the One Qi into 3 pure One secret technique and could use clones. In fact, the one standing in front of Zhao Miaomiao and talking to her was already a clone. Even Zhao Miaomiao didn't notice it. The setting up of the formation went very smoothly. A soul-locking array and a space-sealing array were quickly set up. As for the old woman who was sweeping the floor, she was also quietly trapped within the array. When the cat was quietly observing, she discovered that the old woman was actually smiling, as if she was disdainful that Yang Hanwu was able to capture her. "You want to catch me? Dream on. None of the women that I, Duan Sansi, have taken a fancy to can escape. Just you wait, Zhao Miaomiao. You will definitely lie under me." A bright light flashed in Duan Sansi's eyes. He was still thinking highly of himself and didn't know that Yang Hanwu had already set up an inescapable trap. After the 2 arrays were set up, Yang Hanwu felt that it was still not enough, so he took out the array disc. The Big Dipper Thunder Formation. In an instant, the entire space became dark and heavy as electric arcs flashed across the sky. This is a thunder formation? A 7th grade array master? Everyone's expression changed. At this moment, even Duan Sansi's expression changed. He actually set up a formation silently. This was a powerful thunder formation. How is it possible for a 7th grade array master? That kid was actually a 7th grade array master? This was unbelievable. There were no 7th grade array masters in the Cloud Rain sect. The most powerful one was an elder of the Cloud Rain sect, who was only a 6th grade array master. At this moment, Yang Hanwu came to Zhao Miaomiao's side and looked at everyone with a smile. "I've already set up a formation here. This is a 7th grade array formation, the Big Dipper Thunder Formation. Unless it's a supremacy, no one here can break the formation in a short time. Duan Sansi, right? I know you're here. Come out, don't hide anymore. It's meaningless. I've already found you. Duan Sansi?" All the female disciples turned pale with fright. It was actually that lecherous bandit. He was actually hiding beside them. This was too shocking. Regardless of whether it was true or not. The girls were all worried. They looked at each other and looked around. "Junior brother Yang, there's no one. Where is that perverted thief?" Some disciples had fierce looks on their faces. That perverted thief had done so many bad things and harmed so many girls. 2 of the Cloud Rain sect's disciples had died in his hands. If they could not catch him, they might be the next one. Therefore, when they heard that Duan Sansi was here, they wanted nothing more than to cut him into 1,000 pieces and swallow him alive. "Come out. Do you still want me to catch you?" Yang Hanwu said loudly. "If you don't come out, I'll directly use the heavenly thunder to kill you." "Who is it? What are you blabbering for?" "Just blast him," Zhao Miaomiao said. "However, you can't hurt him by accident. If you hurt my Cloud Rain sect's disciples by accident, you'll have to think about the consequences yourself." "Alright, you're not coming out, right?" A cold light flashed in Yang Hanwu's eyes. The rushing thunder hand came out. In the sky, a huge palm appeared. Lightning flashed and rumbled. All of a sudden, it struck towards the old woman who was sweeping the floor. The old woman was struck directly. Then, she lay on the ground and kept twitching. "Granny Lu, how did you strike Granny Lu?" Seeing the old woman fall to the ground, the female disciples all glared at Yang Hanwu. "You bastard, how can Granny Lu be that perverted thief? Don't come near." At this moment, Zhao Miaomiao flew out with a swoosh. She also struck at Granny Lu with a palm. She struck out with anger. Bang! With a loud sound, Granny Lu's body was sent flying. Blood spurted out. At this moment, Duan Sansi knew that he had been exposed. He did not understand. No one could see through his disguise. Even supremacies could not see through it. How did Yang Hanwu know? However, this was not the time to think too much. He had to leave this place quickly. Otherwise, it would really be troublesome. Therefore, he did not even turn his head. He got up and used a spatial secret technique. His entire body turned into a ray of white light. The space began to distort like ripples on a calm lake. Soon, his body merged into the space. But in the next moment, he suddenly bounced and was knocked out. Another mouthful of blood spurted out from the corner of his mouth. Chapter 624. Dark demonic dragon bloodline. How is this possible? All the girls were stunned. Granny Lu had become a different man, a perverted thief. All of them retreated in fear. How did you discover me? Duan Sansi looked at Yan Hanwu and Zhao Miao Miao and asked. At this moment, Zhao Miao Miao said coldly, if not for Yan Hongwu's reminder, I wouldn't have known. Granny Lu's strength is no weaker than mine. The Granny Lu that you pretended to have no cultivation is clearly fake. Granny Lu's cultivation is no weaker than the sect master's. This. Heavens, why didn't I know it all? The girls of the Cloud Rain sect were all incomparably shocked. Granny Lu looked like an ordinary old woman. She was very kind, just like their mother. She treated everyone in the Cloud Rain sect very well, and everyone in the Cloud Rain sect liked her very much. However, they never thought that Granny Lu was actually an expert. Ah, so that's how it is. That old woman's concealment technique is actually so powerful. I, Duan Sansi, have seen countless people, but I actually misjudged her. However, do you think that you can catch me just like that? How naive. I, Duan Sansi, have experienced countless dangers and been trapped countless times over the years, but no one has been able to catch me. Even the number one of the 10 great families, the Gongsun family, couldn't catch me. How can you possibly catch me? Duan Sansi's tone was very arrogant. He looked at Yan Hanwu and said, you're very young and very powerful. At such a young age, your attainments and formations have already reached such a level. As expected of the person who caught the eye of the Tianyi sect leader and was accepted as a disciple. Duan Sansi's eyes flickered with a terrifying killing intent. However, it's a pity that you're going to die here today. You want to kill me? Yan Hanwu was amused. Although your strength isn't bad, you're still not qualified to kill me. Moreover, even escaping today is a problem for you. You actually dare to threaten to kill me? You're really a toad yawning. What big words. You're still so stubborn even when you're about to die. Not only did you humiliate my 2 disciples, you even cruelly killed them. Today is the day you die. Xiao Miao Miao made her move. Her jade-like hands grabbed over, and her magic power condensed into beautiful clouds. Those beautiful clouds were filled with terrifying killing intent. Duan Sansi was extremely confident. The corners of his mouth even curled into a smile. He did not dodge at all as he said, you won't be able to kill me. I, Duan Sansi, will return. At that time, all the women in your Cloud Rain sect will be mine. All of them will be under me. Boom! The rainbow-colored light hit Duan Sansi hard. Duan Sansi's chest caved in, and he was sent flying. He spat out a mouthful of blood, teeth, and internal organs. This is impossible. How can you hit my true body? Is it because you can't replace your doppelganger? The corners of Yang Hongwu's mouth curled up slightly as he chuckled. How did you know? Duan Sansi stared at Yan Hongwu. It's very simple. It's just a guess. You're so arrogant that everyone thinks you're relying on your mysterious disguise technique, as well as your powerful space secret technique and stealth technique. But in fact, that's not what you're best at. Instead, it's your doppelganger technique. When someone traps you, they'll use the doppelganger to switch places with the original body and send the original body away, leaving only the doppelganger behind. Yan Hongwu sneered. So, not only did I set up the spatial ceiling formation and the heavenly dipper thunder formation here, I also set up a soul-locking formation. This soul-locking formation will cut off the possibility of your doppelganger and true body switching. Good, very good. I didn't expect that I would actually fall into your hands. Duan Sansi's tone revealed a terrifying killing intent. However, Do you think you can kill me like this? Naive, too naive. My escape technique is not my greatest trump card. My greatest trump card has never been exposed, and no one has ever forced me to use it. This is the first time, and it will also be the last time. As he said that, black scales appeared on Duan Sansi's face. In an instant, his entire body was covered, and he turned into a dragon man. His hands and face had all turned into the appearance of a dragon. Duan Sansi actually had the bloodline of a dragon man. This change surprised Yan Hanwu. As Duan Sansi's body changed, his aura also continued to rise, filled with a destructive aura. You forced me. This is my true body. You are the first to force me to reveal my true body. Duan Sansi's cultivation suddenly soared to the fourth step venerable realm, and it was still rising. At this time, even Zhao Miaomiao's expression changed. She did not expect Duan Sansi to be so terrifying. This is the bloodline of the dark demonic dragon? Hu Qing'er shouted, I've seen it in an ancient book. The dark demonic dragon is an extremely lewd and evil divine dragon. Its strength is very terrifying. Countless warriors have died in its hands, and even an empress died in its hands. The bloodline of the dark demonic dragon? Yang Hanwu narrowed his eyes. How arrogant. Who was stronger, the dark demonic dragon or the demonic dragon? His 9 dragons' sacred body was the legendary demonic dragon body. Compared to the bloodline of the dark demonic dragon, it should be much stronger, right? One must know that the demonic dragon was a taboo. Although the dark demonic dragon was powerful, it had not reached the level of a taboo. In the end, it was still killed. However, the demonic dragon was not the same. The demonic dragon had become a great emperor, and its strength was extremely powerful. Those powerful great emperors were no match for it even if they joined forces. In the end, the demonic dragon opened the void and entered the legendary space to search for the legendary realm and power. The dark demonic dragon was also a dragon. His bloodline and Lu Li's bloodline were the supreme dragons. Unless the opponent's cultivation was much higher than his, they would still be suppressed by him. Second level venerable realm. Hurry up and leave. You are not his match. At this time, Zhao Miaomiao said, I will deal with him and delay him. You guys leave quickly. Yan Hanwu, I know that your strength is extraordinary. I hope that you can take the disciples of the Cloud Rain sect away safely. I will block Duan Sansi and buy time for you guys. Although Zhao Miaomiao was powerful, she was still far from a second-level venerable realm warrior. She was no match for him at all. Zhao Miaomiao's aura continued to rise. The longsword in her hand was shining brightly. No need. I can deal with this guy. Yang Hanwu waved his hand and Lu Li appeared. Lu Li, I'll leave that guy to you. Chapter 625. The tragic Duan Sansi. Then I'll leave this guy to you. Help me take care of him. Don't kill him. Leave him with a single breath. Yan Hanwu said. Duan Sansi's mouth twitched when he heard this. A little girl is so arrogant and doesn't put me in her eyes. Despicable, despicable. I've never used this trump card before. I've never transformed into a dragon man. You all deserve to die. All of you deserve to die. Duan Sansi's eyes flashed coldly. His hands had turned into sharp claws. With a swoosh, he clawed towards Lu Li. Humph, Lu Li snorted. This sound was like a clap of thunder in Duan Sansi's ears. It made Duan Sansi's figure stagnate for a moment. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Duan Sansi was shocked. Impossible. How can you have a higher bloodline than me? Duan Sansi screamed. This woman's voice was definitely the roar of a dragon. Moreover, it was the roar of a dragon with an extremely high bloodline. Duan Sansi couldn't resist it. This sound was an attack on the soul. Nothing is impossible. You're just a descendant of a demon dragon. Who knows how diluted your bloodline has become? Moreover, you're just a dragon man. It's easy for me to kill you. Luli chuckled and raised her right hand. A ball of 7-colored light condensed into a sword. This 7-colored sword cut through the sky and pierced towards Duan Sansi's neck with a swoosh. Damn it! Duan Sansi's face changed. Looking at the 7-colored sword, he felt great pressure. This was the great terror between life and death. The defense of his scales was amazing, but he had a feeling that if he were to be pierced by that 7-colored sword, his life would be over. Duan Sansi suddenly opened his ferocious mouth. His huge fangs were like razors. He spat out a black cloud of air. That black cloud of air suddenly turned into a skeletal dragon. This skeletal dragon let out an ear-piercing sound as if it came from hell. Bang! 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 The rainbow-colored sword suddenly split into 7 parts, and all of them slashed at the skeletal dragon. The skeletal dragon was cut into several pieces. Duan Sansi seemed to have expected this. His body moved quickly, and with a leap, he disappeared from where he stood. When he reappeared, he was already in front of Yan Hanwu. When Yan Hanwu saw this, he immediately understood his thoughts. This guy wanted to deal with him. He couldn't deal with Luli, and he himself was only at the Dao platform realm. He was also an array master, a tier 7 array master. As a result, his cultivation was definitely not that strong. Generally speaking, an array master, other than being good at array formations, was much weaker in terms of combat power than martial artists of the same level. Do you think I'm a pushover? Yan Hanwu sneered. He was courting death. Dragon soul devour the heavens. Yan Hanwu immediately released his terrifying cultivation. The true dragon armor covered his whole body, and the golden dragon's soul flew out from the divine dwellings. After a loud dragon roar, the golden light shone. It opened its huge mouth and bit at Duan Sansi. Duan Sansi's face changed greatly. He didn't expect this kid's strength to be so terrifying. There was also such a terrifying pressure on his body. It was also the bloodline pressure. Moreover, this bloodline pressure didn't seem to be weak at all. It was even more terrifying and powerful. The golden dragon seemed to want to devour his soul. Demon Dragon's Wrath. Duan Sansi roared. Terrifying demon chi condensed and turned into a black ball. The black ball flew out and then exploded. The entire space released a terrifying demon chi. The surrounding ground was corroded by this terrifying demon chi, and pits appeared in front of him. Even the entire array formation shook a little. The spatial sealing array and soul-locking array that were set up inside had been shattered. Yan Hanwu knew that things weren't good. This attack didn't cause any harm to Yan Hanwu, but it shattered the array. Duan Sansi was overjoyed. This kid's strength was also very strange. He had no way to deal with him at all. However, he didn't expect the array to be shattered. In this way, he could escape. At this time, he turned into a streak of black light and shot into the distance. However, would Yan Hanwu let him do as he wished? Would Luli let him do as he wished? Would Mauer let him do as he wished? The answer was yes. Whether it was Yan Hanwu, Mauer, or Luli, they wouldn't let him escape. Of course, the same was true for Zhao Miaomiao. When Luli unleashed his strength, he could even kill a supremacy. Although Mauer hadn't really fought, her spatial secret technique was very powerful. The power of spatial secret technique wasn't just used to escape. It could also be used to kill. As for Zhao Miaomiao, she was the sect master of the Cloud Rain sect. She was a 4th-step supremacy. However, one of the important reasons why the Cloud Rain sect could stand for thousands of years and almost be on par with the 7 major sects was the Cloud Rain Needle. The Cloud Rain Needle was a powerful supreme-grade sacred artifact. It was almost at the level of an emperor artifact. This was the Cloud Rain sect's greatest secret and also its most terrifying weapon. Duan Sansi wanted to escape. The others had discovered his intention. Therefore, Yan Hanwu, Luli, Mauer, and Zhao Miaomiao attacked him at the same time. Jingshan Finger, frightening ghosts and gods with a finger. Yan Hanwu didn't hold back. He used the most terrifying and powerful Jingshan finger. Soul-extinguishing sword. Lu Li shouted. Using his finger as a sword, a 7-colored sword light broke through the void and stabbed towards Duan Sanxi's back. Spatial piercing. Mauer opened her mouth and spat out a breath. The breath condensed into a fang and pierced towards Duan Sanxi's head. Spatial piercing was one of Mauer's spatial secret techniques. It was also her first time using this secret technique. However, even with that being the case, his control over spatial power was still extremely exceptional. His control over spatial power had reached an extremely astonishing level. When the three of them attacked, Zhao Miaomiao, who was in the front, also attacked. A short sword appeared in her hand. The tip of the short sword suddenly split open and a dense rain of fine needles shot out like a rainstorm. It was like a rainbow-colored auspicious cloud, but also like a violent storm. There was no way to dodge. These were the magic cloud rainstorm needles. They seemed to be extremely beautiful, but they possessed terrifying might and were extremely lethal. They were comparable to the attacks of Exalt Realm experts. Most importantly, there were too many needles that formed a dense mass, and they covered an extremely large area. Moreover, they were extremely swift. Unless one was a saint, it would be impossible to dodge them at all. Duan Sanxi was in trouble. Chapter 626. The demonic hand reappears. Duan Sanxi, who only wanted to escape, did not have the strength to resist at all. He had never imagined that Zhao Miaomiao, Yan Hanwu and the others would have such a terrifying attack. Rumble. The terrifying attack bombarded his body without any resistance. Duan Sanxi was instantly turned into a sieve. At this moment, a powerful suction force came from Yan Hongwu's right hand. It was the demonic hand in his right arm causing mischief. The demonic hand formed a small black hole and absorbed all of Duan Sanxi's demonic dragon bloodline power. Yan Hanwu could not stop it even if he wanted to. Zhao Miaomiao and the others were also stunned. The monstrous power on Yan Hongwu's body caused even her to tremble in fear. This power did not seem like the power of the righteous path. It was filled with demonic qi, baleful qi, and evil qi. It could even easily affect a person's mind. However, that power soon disappeared, allowing Zhao Miaomiao to breathe a sigh of relief. "Are you all right?" Zhao Miaomiao looked at Yan Hanwu and asked. "I'm fine. You don't have to worry. This is an old problem." Yan Hanwu smiled bitterly. He did not expect the demonic hand to move at this moment, and even expose itself to Zhao Miaomiao. "Your right hand, what's going on?" Zhao Miaomiao looked at Yan Hanwu and asked the question in her heart. "This is a demonic hand. I don't know why it entered my body. I used a powerful immoral artifact to suppress it, but it would erupt from time to time," said Yan Hanwu. "This demonic hand of yours is not simple. You have to be careful," said Zhao Miaomiao. Zhao Miaomiao said. "You can't go on like this. Who knows when it will completely erupt and try to possess you or affect your mind." "I know that. However, this demonic hand is too powerful. I can only suppress it now. It's impossible to completely solve the problem. My current strength is far from that. Perhaps, I can try to completely refine this demonic hand when my cultivation reaches the venerable realm," said Yan Hanwu. "Now that I've dealt with Duan Sanxi, can I leave?" His time was tight. He had to rush back to the Tianyi immortal abode to expel the poison for Yuji. Once the poison in Yuji's body was cured, he would return to the 100-Flower sect and then go to the wildlands to search for the ancestral shaman's ruins. It was basically unrealistic for him to have a huge improvement in his cultivation in a short period of time, unless he went to the wilderness and found the ancestral sorcerer ruins. In that case, he might be able to make a huge improvement in his cultivation in these 2 months. "You're leaving? Aren't you going to the 100-Flower sect to look for Xiaoer and Xuanger?" Zhao Miaomiao said. "In a few days, my sister will bring them over." "They're coming here?" Yan Hanwu frowned. This was a problem. If they were in the 100-flower sect, it would be a problem for the Zetian to deal with them. However, if they were out of the 100-flower sect, it would be much easier for the Zetian to deal with them. Yes. Our Cloud Rain sect and the 100-flower sect have always complemented each other, said Zhao Miao Miao. If they cultivate in the Cloud Rain Immoral Pond for a period of time, their cultivation will advance by leaps and bounds. It can save them at least 3 years of hard work. Cloud Rain Immoral Pond? Yang Hanwu had never heard of it. However, with the word immortal in it, it must not be simple. Yes. The Cloud Rain Immoral Pond is the foundation of our Cloud Rain sect. It's the foundation of our Cloud Rain sect. Not everyone can enter the Cloud Rain Immoral Pond. Of course, the Cloud Rain sect and the 100-flower sect exchange places every year. The 100-flower sect has 5 places to cultivate in the Cloud Rain Immoral Pond, while the Cloud Rain sect has 5 disciples who have a chance to cultivate in the 100-flower sacred realm, explained Zhao Miao Miao. Yang Hanwu was surprised. Could it be that the sect masters of the 100-flower sect and the Cloud Rain sect had always been sisters? Apart from sisters, it would be difficult for the sect masters of the 2 sects to maintain such a relationship. Then I'll make a trip to the 100-flower sect first, Yang Hanwu said after some thought. I'm worried that the Zetian will do something to them. The Zetian shouldn't have the guts to do that, right? The person leading the team is my sister. Although the Zetian is very talented, she has only cultivated for a short time. She won't be able to take advantage of my sister, said Zhao Miao Miao. So, you just have to wait here patiently for 2 days. No, said Yang Hanwu as she shook her head. What a joke. Zetian's strength was not as simple as it seemed on the surface. Moreover, the Tai Xianfu's patriarch of the Z family hated her to the core. She had humiliated the Tai Xianfu and the Z family. To someone at the level of the patriarch of the Z family, face was very important. Back then, she had taken Yuji away from the Tianyi immortal abode in front of the patriarch of the Z family. This was a great humiliation to the patriarch of the Z family. Even if Zetian's strength was not enough to deal with the sect master of the 100-flower sect, Zhao Piapiao, the patriarch of the Z family would have a way. Although Zhao Piapiao's strength was strong, she was definitely not on the same level as the patriarch of the Z family. Any treasure that the patriarch of the Z family casually took out was probably not something that Zhao Piapiao could deal with. Sect Master, do you have the contact information of your sister? Yang Hanwu looked at her and said, I want to communicate with her. Zetian's strength is not as simple as you think. I have a great enmity with Zetian. I know Zetian very well. A few days ago, I fought with Zetian. Zetian's strength is very strong. Just a clone is enough to contend with Ao Tianyi and the others. If it's her real body, I don't know how strong she is. Is what you said true? Hearing this, Zhao Miao Miao could not remain calm. Just a clone was enough to contend with Ao Tianyi and the others. Who was Ao Tianyi? He was the leader of the younger generation. His strength was comparable to those of the elders. In that case, Zetian's true strength was probably comparable to the sect master. Monstrous, he was definitely a monstrous genius. Perhaps in the entire ancient domain, there was no one who could compare with him. She looked at Yang Hanwu. This brat had actually fought with Zetian before. From his tone, it seemed that Zetian did not have an advantage over him. However, she looked at Lu Li. That's right, he was a powerful formation master. This little girl's strength was also unimaginably strong. If they were to set up a formation, even Zhao Miao Miao might not be her opponent. Even if Zetian was really strong, he might not be able to gain an advantage over her. Chapter 627. 5 Extreme Space. What did you say? Zetian's true body is a great devil? Zhao Miao Miao's eyes widened in disbelief. Even the girls were stunned. Zetian. Ever since they had heard the news of a monstrous genius like Zetian, many disciples had viewed Zetian as their ideal lover. But when they heard Yang Hongwu's words, they didn't believe it. They all looked at Yan Hanwu. You're not saying that because you're jealous of him, right? A female disciple asked. Yang Hanwu rolled his eyes and said, it's up to you whether you believe it or not. In any case, I'm going to bring Xiu'er and Shuang'er over. I'll go with you. Zhao Miaomiao hesitated for a moment and said. What Yang Hanwu said was too serious. If that was really the case, then they had to be on guard against Zetian. Guard the sect well. Don't activate the sect's grand formation. Do you understand? Zhao Miaomiao looked at the female disciples and said. Yes, sect master. The girls nodded. Hu Qing'er, you're in charge here. If anything happens, immediately notify me. Yes, master. Hu Qing'er nodded. Is what you said true? Zhao Miaomiao asked in a serious tone after they left the mountain gate. Yang Hanwu nodded. It's true. Zetian must be eliminated. Otherwise, there will be no end of trouble. Once he finds his true body, the entire ancient region will be finished. Eliminating Zetian is difficult, too difficult. Zhao Miaomiao shook her head. Zetian has the protection of the Z family's ancestor. It's impossible to kill him. The strength of the Z family's ancestor is too terrifying. He's the #1 expert in the ancient region. Even Leader Tianyi and Leader Taiyi are no match for him. Even if the 4 leaders join hands, they might not be able to kill him. No way? He's that powerful? Yang Hanwu didn't really believe it. If the old ancestor of the Z clan was really so formidable, then how could he have let them leave so easily that day? It's true. The old ancestor of the Z clan could have ascended to the heavenly region 1,000 years ago. At that time, he was already the strongest person in the ancient region. However, he didn't ascend to the heavenly region. There were several reasons for that. The most important one was that he had to guard the Tai Shenfu. In the Tai Shenfu, there was a devil. That devil needed to be suppressed, and that person was the old ancestor of the Z clan. Zhao Miaomiao said, if it wasn't for the sake of suppressing that devil, with the Z Tai Shenfu's ambition, he would have already made a move on the other powers of the ancient region. Therefore, it is very difficult to kill Zetian. As long as the patriarch of the Z family is here, it is impossible. Unless the patriarch of the Z family is too busy to take care of her, it is impossible for us to kill Zetian. There's always a way, isn't there? Yang Hanwu didn't believe it. Although the old ancestor was powerful, he had already reached his limit. If he unleashed his full strength in this plane, he would definitely be restrained by the power of the laws of this world. As long as his strength increased and reached the peak of the divine realm, the patriarch of the Z family wouldn't be a match for him no matter how strong he was. Yang Hanwu had absolute confidence in this. Perhaps, the ranking battle of the 4 major immortal mansions is a good opportunity. However, it depends on whether you can grasp it or not. If you are strong enough, then it will be the best opportunity to kill Zetian. The ranking battle of the 4 major immortal mansions will take place in the Wuji space. The Wuji space is a completely sealed space that can only be opened at a certain time. Even the patriarch of the Z family can't enter it. Zhao Miaomiao said, therefore, if you want to kill Zetian, you can only do it in the Wuji space. It is impossible to do it in other places. When Zetian's life is in danger, the patriarch of the Z family can tear the space apart and rush there in a few breaths. The Wuji space? Even the patriarch of the Z family can't tear it apart? Yang Hanwu said, what kind of place is the Wuji space? It is said that the Wuji space is a special space that appeared when the ancient domain was still around. This space opens every 5 years. There are many dangers in the Wuji space, but there are also countless opportunities. The Wuji space has a limit. Those who can enter the Wuji space can't be more than 100 years old. Because the Wuji space is too dangerous, those who can enter the Wuji space are all monstrous geniuses, Zhao Miaomiao said. Then, how are the disciples of the 4 major immortal mansions ranked in the Wuji space? Yang Hanwu asked. Since it was the ranking battle of the 4 major immortal mansions, there must be a ranking indicator in the Wuji space. The ranking is based on the number of Wuji spiritual beasts killed by the disciples who entered the Wuji space. The greatest danger in the Wuji space is the Wuji spiritual beasts. These Wuji spiritual beasts are extremely terrifying. They are even more terrifying than the savage beasts and ferocious beasts of the ancient domain. They have extremely powerful intelligence, Zhao Miao Miao said. Hunting Wuji spiritual beasts? Forget it. We'll talk about this matter in 2 months. Right now, the most important thing is to bring Xiao and the others over. After that, I still have other things to do, Yan Hanwu sighed and said. After walking for about an hour, Zhao Miao Miao and the others arrived. It seemed that Xiao and the others were in trouble. Several black-clothed people were attacking Xiao and the others. Yang Hongwu's face sank. He didn't expect that there would really be people who dared to attack them. Moreover, they had even set up a formation. The person who looked 80% similar to Zhao Miao Miao was most likely Zhao Miao Miao's elder sister, the sect master of the 100 Flower sect, Zhao Pia Piao. At this moment, Zhao Pia Piao stood in front of Xiao and the others, blocking the attacks of the black-clothed people. These black-clothed people were slightly weaker than Zhao Pia Piao, but they had set up a formation to deal with Zhao Pia Piao. Originally, with Zhao Pia Piao's strength, dealing with these people wouldn't be a problem. Even with the formation, they wouldn't be a match for her. However, because she had to protect Xiao and the others, she was at a disadvantage. What's wrong? Zhao Miao Miao asked when she saw Yang Hongwu's gloomy expression. Xiao and the others were ambushed. Yang Hongwu said coldly, we have to speed up. Those bastards must have been sent by the Zetian. Then what are we waiting for? Hurry up. Zhao Miao Miao also became anxious when she heard that Zhao Pia Piao and the others were in danger. She sped up. After a few minutes. Soon, they arrived at the place where Zhao Pia Piao and the others were. Damn it. Go to hell. Seeing that Xiao and the others were in imminent danger, Yang Hanwu was furious. A terrifying aura erupted from him. He used the Jingshan finger as soon as he made a move. The power that could destroy heaven and earth condensed at the tip of his finger and was released. That finger was like a world-destroying missile. Chapter 628. 9 Suns sect. In an instant, all the black-clothed men who were caught off guard were killed. Seeing this scene, Zhao Miao Miao was stunned. This was too terrifying. She looked at Yang Hanwu and saw that he was still angry. Zhao Miao Miao couldn't help but shiver. A dragon had a reverse scale, and those who touched it would die. Yang Hongwu's reverse scale was his women. Yu Ji was threatened before, and now, Hu Xiao and Jing Qiushuang were also threatened. How could he not be angry? Therefore, his first move was a thunderous fury. Husband! Hu Xiao and Jing Qiushuang were surprised when they saw Yang Hanwu. They came out of the formation and rushed towards Yang Hanwu. Yang Hanwu hugged the 2 women. Sorry, I'm late. Yang Hanwu said gently. No, you're not late at all. The 2 women said in unison. You're Yang Hanwu? At this time, Zhao Pia Piao also came out. She was surprised when she saw Yang Hanwu. This guy was so powerful. He was only at the 5th level of the Dao Foundation realm, but he killed several Divine Realm cultivators in one move. He was too powerful. He was a monstrous genius. Hello, Senior. Yang Hanwu looked at her and said, thank you for taking care of Xiao and Shuang. You're not bad. However, you should know about their situation. Although your strength is good, it's far from enough. Zhao Pia Piao said. Yang Hanwu was stunned. Senior, what do you mean? Do you know why they attacked us? Zhao Pia Piao asked. Why? Aren't they sent by the Zetian? Yang Hanwu looked at her. Weren't they sent by the Zetian? If it wasn't the Zetian, then who was it? No. Zhao Pia Piao shook her head. Zhao Pia Piao shook her head. These people are here because of their constitutions. They are all disciples of the 9 Suns sect. the patriarch of the Nine Sons sect cultivates a powerful technique. If he wants to complete the 9 sons, he needs someone with a purine body to be his cultivation vessel. Are you saying that these people are all disciples of the 9 Sons sect's ancestor? Yang Hongwu's eyes shone with a cold light. The 9 Sons sect was just a sect. The 9 Sons sect was also one of the 7 great sections. They weren't weak, but the difference between them and the 4 great immoral palaces was huge. However, the patriarch of the 9 Sons sect, was also a fierce character. He had cultivated for many years, and his strength had long reached the peak. Although he was not as strong as the patriarch of the Z family, he was not much weaker. However, the difference between the 9 Sons sect and the 4 immoral mansions was too great. They simply couldn't be compared. After all, the 9 Sons sect was founded by forefather 9 Sons, and the 4 immoral mansions had been passed down for countless years. This kind of gap was not something that could be closed in a short period of time. Yes, they are all disciples of the 9 Sons sect, Zhao Piapiao said. What a 9 Sons sect! Since the 9 Sons sect dared to have designs on his woman, then there was no need for the 9 Sons sect to exist. Yang Hanwu had already sentenced the 9 Sons sect to death. However, it was not convenient for him to make a move on the 9 Sons sect now. If he wanted to destroy such a powerful sect, it would not be something that could be done in a short period of time. Moreover, he had an even stronger enemy, and that was Zetian. Not only forefather 9 Sons, but also old devil 9 You have to be careful, Zhao Piapiao said. Yang Hongwu's face sank. Forefather 9 Sons, and now old devil 9 Who is this old devil 9 Old devil 9 is forefather 9 Sons' twin brother. When the two of them work together, even the patriarch of the Z family has to avoid them, Zhao Piapiao said. They're that powerful? Yan Hanwu said. Don't tell me that one of them has the 9 Yang body and the other has the 9 Yin body? Yes. Their bodies are the 9 Yin body and the 9 Yang body. When they work together, their power is boundless, Zhao Piapiao said. 9 Yin body and 9 Yang body. How dare they have designs on my woman? They really don't know what's good for them. If I could devour their bodies and bloodlines, perhaps my strength would increase tremendously. Unfortunately, the two of them were too powerful. It would not be easy to deal with them. Forefather 9 Sons was already very troublesome. If forefather 9 was added, it would be even more difficult to deal with. It's because of those two that I'm in such a hurry. I brought them to the Cloud Rain sect to find my sister. The Cloud Rain sect's formation is much stronger than our 100 Flower sect's formation. With the magic Cloud Rainstorm needles, we can suppress them, Zhao Piapiao said. Don't worry. When we return to the Cloud Rain sect, I'll set up another formation. If they dare to come, only death awaits them. He could set up formations. After all, he was a 7th grade formation master and a 7th grade talisman master. He could set up formations and create talismans. With enough support, even if forefather 9 Sons and old devil 9 came together, it would be enough to deal with them for a while. You know how to set up formations? Zhao Piapiao was doubtful. No matter how powerful he was only a Dao Foundation realm warrior. How powerful could a Dao Foundation realm warrior be? If he was only a 6th grade formation master, the formation he set up would not be able to resist an expert at the level of forefather 9 Sons. Only a 7th grade formation master would be effective. A small formation master. Yang Hanwu nodded. If you're a 6th grade formation master, there's no need. 7th grade. I'm already a peak 7th grade formation master. Yang Hanwu said, if I have a suitable formation plate, I can even set up a 8th grade formation. You can set up a 8th grade formation. I have a formation plate. Are you sure you can set up a 8th grade formation? Yang Hanwu said that he was a 7th grade formation master and a peak 7th grade formation master. This made him look at him in a new light. Such a young 7th grade formation master, he was definitely a genius among geniuses. Moreover, his battle prowess was so heaven-defying that he could easily kill a divine realm expert. In this ancient domain, there weren't many people who could be compared with him. Perhaps even Ao Tianyi and the others couldn't be compared with him. Previously, she had heard from Wu Xiu'er and Jin Qiushuang that Yang Hanwu was not very old. He had ascended from the ancient desolate continent together with them. How long had it been? His strength had already broken through to the 5th level of Dao Foundation realm. His cultivation speed was really astonishing. What he lacked now was time. As long as he had enough time, perhaps no one in the entire ancient domain would be his opponent. Of course, there was another problem. Zetian. Zetian was also a monstrous monster. Although Yang Hanwu was not inferior to Zetian, he lacked one advantage. That was, Yang Hanwu did not have a strong backer. If Yang Hanwu had a powerful warrior like the old ancestor of the Z family as his guardian, then Yang Hanwu's achievements would be limitless. Chapter 629. 9-Star Dream Formation. Not long after, the group returned to the Cloud Rain sect. They're back. Sect Master is back. When they saw the return of Yang Hanwu and the others, the Cloud Rain sect disciples were overjoyed as though they had heaved a sigh of relief. This atmosphere made Yang Hanwu feel that something was amiss. Could something have happened to the Cloud Rain sect again? What's wrong? Did something happen? Zhao Miaomiao also felt that something was wrong and asked. Master, something big has happened. The master of that pervert Duan Sansi has appeared. Duan Sansi's master? Zhao Miaomiao's expression changed. She had never heard of that pervert Duan Sansi having a powerful master. However, now that he had appeared, it was going to be troublesome. Duan Sansi had already caused the Cloud Rain sect to be in such a sorry state. Now, there was another master of Duan Sansi. Yes. Not long after you left, an old man appeared outside and attacked the formation crazily. That old man is here to avenge Duan Sansi. Looks like that old man is nothing, Zhao Miaomiao said. If he dares to come, we'll kill him too. An old man who was very powerful. If he were to keep an eye on the Cloud Rain sect, they would not be able to eat or sleep in peace. Therefore, that old man must be dealt with. Sect Master, that old man will definitely not let it go. Previously, because of the formation, there was no way to break in. Therefore, he must have gone to find someone to break the formation. Even if he doesn't break the formation, he will still be lying in ambush, Yang Hanwu said. We just need to wait for him. We'll do as you say, Zhao Miaomiao nodded. She already knew about Yang Hanwu's ability. If Yang Hanwu set up some more formations, the entire Cloud Rain sect would be like an iron bucket that could not be broken. A peak grade 7 array master was definitely powerful. As long as he set up a series of arrays, it would be much easier. Even if an ancestor level expert came, it would not be easy for him to break through the arrays of the Cloud Rain sect and attack his way in. I have an array disk here. This is a level 8 soul-seizing slumber array. Zhao Piapiao said, this formation has been lost for a long time. I don't know what the formation is either. There's only this formation plate left behind by the ancestors of the 100 Flower sect and the Cloud Rain sect. The ancestor of the 100 Flower sect and the Cloud Rain sect was the same person. He was once an 8th grade formation master. However, he met with an accident and only the formation plate was left behind. Yang Hanwu looked at it and was surprised. It was really an 8th rank array disk. This array disk was much stronger than his Big Dipper Thunder array. However, this formation disk was not an offensive formation disk. Instead, it was used to trap the enemy. The Sleeping Spirit Seizing formation was used to make the person who broke into the formation fall into a deep sleep. Unknowingly, it would take away their spirit energy and cause their cultivation to slowly fall. Although it wasn't an offensive array, it could kill people silently. If one wasn't a powerful array master, they wouldn't be able to sense it at all. What a great Sleeping Spirit Seizing formation. Yang Hanwu took a deep breath. This formation was indeed lost. Yang Hanwu had seen it in an ancient book, but there was no formation diagram. However, if there was an array disk, there would be a way to set it up. Yang Hanwu took the array disk and said, "Let me study it and see if I can find a way to set it up." There is another array disk here. However, it's not a level 8 formation. It's only a level 7 formation. At this moment, Zhao Piapiao also took out something. It was also an array disk. This is the 9 stars dream formation. Yang Hanwu recognized the array disk at a glance. Yang Hanwu knew about the 9 stars dream formation. As a 7th rank array master, Yang Hanwu had studied the formation carefully. Yang Hanwu had looked through all the formation diagrams of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion. One must know that the Tianling Peak was the holy land of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion. With the help of Tianjinyun, he could see all kinds of formations. Of course, this was the Tianyi Immortal Mansion's possession. Although the Tianyi Immortal Mansion did not specialize in formations, the Tianling Peak was. The Tianyi Immortal Mansion had been passed down for a long time. How could the collection of formations and array disks be small? The 9 stars dream array was considered an unorthodox array formation. After all, it was a type of array formation that made people fall asleep. It basically had no offensive power and was mostly used to assist in cultivation. Coincidentally, Yang Hanwu also took a look at it. This array formation was rumored to have been developed by an array master in order to let his son sleep. His son had a special physique and needed to cultivate in his dreams. However, he was always unable to fall asleep. Therefore, that array master had to go through untold hardships to develop such an array formation. How is it? Is this formation useful? Xiao Piapiao asked. Useful. Very useful. Yang Hanwu was pleasantly surprised. These 2 formations complemented each other. One was used to make people fall asleep and the other was used to enter dreams. After falling asleep and entering dreams, a person's resistance would become weaker and weaker. This was what it meant to kill without leaving a trace. Who would have thought that such a formation would be used in battle? Moreover, one of them was an 8th level formation. Of course, the other one, the 9 stars dream formation, was also equivalent to an 8th level formation. However, because this formation was more unorthodox and didn't have much use, it was only a 7th level formation. To Yang Hanwu, if these 2 formations could really be set up, then even ancestor level figures wouldn't have an easy time here. If one wasn't especially vigilant and entered the formation, they would probably die. Of course, at the level of the Z family's ancestor, one's vigilance was extremely high. As the saying went, if one didn't die at old age, one would be a thief. He was too old, had cultivated for so many years, experienced so many things, and seen so many things. How could his vigilance be lacking? Moreover, at that level of cultivation, one had to step on mountains of bones and mountains of corpses. Who knew how many life and death situations they had experienced? How could they be so easily fooled? Taking a step back, even if he fell into the formation and entered a state of deep sleep, with their methods, it would be very slow for the soul-seizing formation to seize their cultivation. The higher the cultivation, the more they paid attention to the purity of their spiritual power. The purer the spiritual power, the more difficult it would be to seize it. Of course, Yang Hanwu didn't think that the Z family's ancestor would come here. Those who would come here were probably only the 9 Sons ancestor and the 9-shade-old devil. Since these 2 old fellows had their eyes on Hu Xiu'er and Jing Qiushuang, they definitely wouldn't let them go. Knowing that they were here, they would definitely rush over to capture them. Therefore, this formation was prepared for them. Yang Hanwu studied the 2 formations. Fortunately, he found the method to set up the formation in the soul-seizing formation's disk. Chapter 630. Testing the power of the formation. Will it work? Xiao Piapiao was doubtful. She had never seen it before. As for Zhao Miaomiao, she believed it because she had seen how powerful Yang Hanwu's formation was. Of course it will work. If you don't believe me, Senior can give it a try. Yang Hanwu was very confident in his formation. This was the first time Yan Hanwu had set up an 8th level formation. If he didn't have Gu Xiaoshuan's help, he wouldn't have been able to set it up. After all, it was an 8th level formation and Yan Hanwu hadn't reached the 8th level yet. Of course, only Gu Xiaoxian could cooperate with Yan Hanwu so well. If it was other formation masters, even if their cultivation was higher than Gu Xiaoxian, they might not be able to set up the formation with Yan Hanwu. Alright, I'll give it a try. Xiao Piapiao nodded. Sister, you have to be careful. Xiao Miaomiao smiled and said to her sister. You think so highly of him? Xiao Piapiao was surprised. Her sister was very proud and wouldn't easily praise others. Seeing her think so highly of Yan Hanwu, she was surprised. Xiao Miaomiao nodded and said, his formation skills are indeed very high. I'm afraid that there's no one as talented as him in the ancient domain. Even Qin Yozhen wasn't as powerful as him. Xiao Piapiao was startled. Qin Yozhen was a formation genius a few thousand years ago. He became an 8th level formation master at the age of 60 and established the Celestial Formation Sect. The Celestial Formation Sect was the only sect in the ancient domain that focused on formations. Even now, there was still an 8th level formation master. Although the people of the Celestial Formation Sect weren't the strongest, no one could compare with them in terms of formation skills. Even the old ancestors of the 4 great immortal mansions didn't dare to challenge the Celestial Formation Sect. The Celestial Formation Sect played an immeasurable role in the Great War of the Demonic Tao. They obtained a huge contribution. Even the 4 great immortal mansions couldn't compare with them. It was also that Great War that made the Celestial Formation Sect famous. However, in the past 1,000 years, the Celestial Array Sect had been in seclusion. It had been a long time since someone from the Celestial Array Sect had come out to train. If she hadn't known that Yan Hanwu was a disciple of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion, Xiao Miaomiao would have suspected that Yan Hanwu was from the Sky Array Sect. Xiao Piapiao entered the array. Immediately, he felt dizzy. This gave her a great shock. Even if she wanted to stay awake, she couldn't. She used all sorts of methods to stimulate it, but it didn't seem to work. It was as if all kinds of voices were trying to hypnotize her and force her to sleep. This was only because she knew about this array formation. If she was caught off guard, she would have fallen into a deep sleep. She tried her best to resist this kind of sleepiness, but it did not last long before she fell into a dream. After seeing that Xiao Piapiao had entered a deep sleep state, Yan Hanwu smiled and let her out. After exiting the array formation, Xiao Piapiao quickly woke up. She looked at Yan Hanwu and was extremely shocked. Good, good. What a soul-seizing drowsy array. What a 9-star dream-inducing array. This array formation was really too powerful. She tried her best to resist, but she could only resist for a few dozen breaths. If she wasn't aware of the situation, she wouldn't have been able to resist at all. After entering such a state, even resisting the drowsiness would be a problem, let alone killing the enemy and breaking the array. Only one kind of person could resist such an array formation, and that was the legendary sleepless people. That was a special kind of battle physique. They did not need to sleep, nor would they enter a state of sleep. They were awake at all times. However, this kind of person was 1 in 10,000, and they could not live for long. After all, everyone needed to rest. Even powerful venerables, saints, and even great emperors needed to rest. If a person did not rest, no matter how powerful he was, he would not be able to resist it. And this kind of sleepless people's spirit was always in a state of excitement. There was no time for them to rest at all. Therefore, their lifespans were often much weaker and shorter than that of ordinary people. If an ordinary person was said to have a lifespan, if a person's lifespan was 100 years, then sleepless people's lifespan was only 20 years. In other words, sleepless people's lifespan was much shorter than people with other battle physiques. They only had 1/5 of the lifespan of ordinary battle physiques. Some of them even had less than 1/5 of the lifespan of ordinary battle physiques. How is it? Do you believe me now? At this moment, Zhao Miaomiao said. Yes, not bad. Very good. You are destined to become the #1 array master in ancient region. I'm afraid that even the 8th grade array master of Heavenly Array sect might not be able to break this array formation. Zhao Miao Miao said, with this array formation, whether it is old ancestor Jiuyang or old devil Jiuyin, they won't be able to resist it. As for that pervert Duan Sanxi's master, he won't be a match for it. As soon as she finished speaking, Yan Hanwu felt a strange movement. Someone had broken into the array formation. The people who had barged in were probably none other than Duan Sanxi's master and the others. Yang Hanwu looked through the array formation and saw a very wretched white-haired old man. Beside this white-haired old man was a short array master with a compass in his hand. Using a compass to break the array formation made Yang Hanwu think of a family, Che family. In fact, Che family's ancestor was originally surnamed Chen. He was Chen Youzhen's son. But later on, he walked on the evil path and was expelled from the family by Chen Youzhen. He established another family and changed his surname to Che Lisan. This short old man should be a member of the Che clan. Although the Che family's mastery of formations couldn't be compared to the celestial array sects, it was still no small matter. If the celestial array sect was ranked first in terms of formations, then the Che family would be ranked second. Che family relied on their array formation to become one of the 10 great families. This showed how powerful Che family was. One must know that Che family couldn't be compared to the other 10 great families. The other 10 great families either had saints or great emperors. Their foundation was much stronger than Che family's. Che family was able to become one of the 10 great families. Naturally, they weren't weak. Although Che family was expelled from the family by Chen Youzhen because they walked on the evil path and established another family, they weren't people of the evil path. On the contrary, Che family's way of doing things was quite upright. It was just that they differed from Heavenly Array sect in terms of array formation. Che family's array formation was based on the people. Sometimes, in order to break the array formation, they could even sacrifice the lives of cultivators. In the past, a genius array master of Che family once used his own life as the lead and several other disciples' lives as the support to arrange a Heavenly Slayer Great Killing Array. This was a genuine 8th level array formation with boundless might. Anyone below Venerable Realm who entered would die. No matter how many people entered, they would all die. Even venerable experts would find it difficult to resist. Chapter 631. Slay 2 men. How is it? When will you be able to break the formation? Duan Sanxi's master looked at Che Long and asked. This formation is not simple. It's a compound formation. There's no way to break it in a short period of time. After a while, Che Long raised his head and said. There's no way to break it in a short period of time? It's going to take a long time? You're a grade 7 array master. How can you not be able to break it? Duan Siyuan was a bit anxious. Duan Sanxi was not only his disciple, but also his nephew. That was why he was so furious when something happened to Duan Sanxi. Duan Sanxi was the only bloodline of the Duan clan. Once Duan Sanxi died, the Duan clan would lose its inheritance. To Duan Siyuan, this was the most terrible thing. It meant that the Duan clan's bloodline was completely finished. That was why this was equivalent to the hatred of the extermination of the clan. It was a great hatred and they could not live under the same sky. The person who set up this formation is not simple. He's definitely a grade 7 array master. Moreover, this formation seems to be a compound formation. Che Long said. Compound formation? The ancestor of the Cloud Rain sect was once a formation grandmaster. It's not strange for him to be able to set up such a formation. Che Long said, I can break this formation, but it's absolutely impossible to do so in a short period of time. All right. Duan Siyuan sighed. There was nothing he could do. Without Che Long's help, it was simply impossible for him to break the formation. Without a way to break the formation, it was impossible for him to take revenge. That was why he could only wait for Che Long to break the formation. Yang Hanwu looked at the two of them. Of course, he knew what they were thinking. However, even if it was the formation outside, it would still take some time to break it. However, Yan Hanwu did not have that much time to wait. That was why Yan Hanwu was pondering whether he should let the two of them in and beat them up. Found it. With Yan Hanwu deliberately letting go, Che Long immediately found the formation core. Found him. That's great. Those damned women killed Sansi. I must avenge Sansi. I won't let any of those women go. A cold light flashed in Duan Siyuan's eyes, and the red sail in his hand kept swaying. The red sail was the love enchantment sail, which could arouse one's lust. It was especially effective on women. Unless one's cultivation had reached the venerable realm, there was no way one could resist it. Duan Siyuan had spent 100 years to refine it. Open! Che Long shouted. The compass in his hand emitted a strong light. It shot out like lightning and landed on the eye of the outer array formation. In an instant, a bright light burst out. It was as if a light bomb had exploded. The array formation instantly exploded. Not good. Suddenly, Che Long's expression changed. There was another formation within the formation. The one on the outside was just a cover. The formation on the inside was the true killing move. However, it was too late now. After entering the formation, Yan Hanwu immediately activated the soul-seizing drowsy formation and the 9-star dream formation. Without anyone controlling it, the power of the level 8 formation was boundless. Moreover, Yan Hanwu was controlling it now and Gu Shaoxian was assisting him. The power of the formation was much stronger than when Zhao Piapiao tested it earlier. Damn it. I want to sleep. Not good. This formation is not an ordinary formation. It's a compound formation. It's silent. I'm afraid it's a level 8 formation. There's a formation expert here. Che Long was shocked. He did not expect to meet an expert here. No wonder the Cloud Rain sect could continue like this. It was terrifying. Extremely terrifying. What kind of formation is this? I want to kill, kill, kill. Duan Siyuan roared. However, the power of the formation was terrifying, causing his mind and spirit to become more and more exhausted. His voice became weaker and weaker. Although his heart was terrified, there was no way to resist. What a powerful formation. Seeing this scene, Zhao Piapiao and Zhao Miaomiao were incomparably shocked. As sect masters, their strength stood at the peak of the ancient region. They couldn't be any clearer about Duan Siyuan and Che Long's strength. Even with such formidable strength, they didn't even have the chance to resist. They were easily subdued without any effort. Such strength was too terrifying. With such a formation, the Cloud Rain sect was now like an iron bucket. There was simply no one who could barge in. How should we deal with these two? Yan Hanwu looked at the two who had fallen into a deep sleep and said to Zhao Miaomiao. This was the Cloud Rain sect. Moreover, these two were her enemies. It was up to her to deal with them. Kill them. A cold light flashed in Zhao Miaomiao's eyes. If these two did not die, the Cloud Rain sect would not have a day of peace. It might not be much in the Cloud Rain sect. However, once they left the Cloud Rain sect, there would be a great danger. If these people were to ambush outside and hunt down the Cloud Rain sect's disciples, it would definitely be a great blow to the Cloud Rain sect. Therefore, Zhao Miaomiao wanted to nip this danger in the bud. All right. Since Zhao Miaomiao said so, Yan Hanwu did not hesitate and used the mind-refining Heart Sutra and the Yin-Yang Soul Lock spell. In addition to Lu Li's soul-controlling technique, the two of them did not have any resistance. The two of them had no power to resist at all. If they used the Jingxian finger or the 10-direction killing fist, then the murderous aura would easily wake them up. Yan Hanwu was not confident. Once they woke up, there would be trouble. Therefore, Yan Hanwu would rather play it safe. The pitiful Duan Siyuan and Che Long, these two super experts, had died silently and sullenly here. The female disciples were pleasantly surprised. On the other hand, Zhao Miaomiao felt sad. After all, she was also a super expert. She did not even have the strength to resist and died. She was too aggrieved. She did not even have the chance to use all kinds of powerful techniques, secret skills, and divine abilities before she was killed. She did not even know who killed her. How sad was that? After killing them, Yan Hongwu's dragon soul devoured the sky and devoured their strength. His cultivation improved again. Although Yan Hongwu did not improve by much, it was of great help to Ning Xiaorui, who was a battle spirit. After killing them, Yan Hongwu would be able to obtain the treasures on their bodies. Duan Siyuan's enchanted love sail and Che Long's compass. Damn, these are both sacred weapons. Although they are not as good as emperor weapons, they are not far off. Yan Hongwu held the two items in his hands and sighed. Zhao Miaomiao's expression changed drastically when she saw the enchanted love sail. Even she might not be able to resist it. Once the other party used it, the entire Cloud Rain sect and 100 Flower sect would probably fall. Such an evil thing. Destroy it. Destroy it. Zhao Miaomiao said. She was disgusted by the thing. At that moment, a red gas appeared. Zhao Miaomiao said, "This is the Qi of Lust. Do not absorb it." Chapter 632. Divine Armament Clone. However, something that exceeded Yan Hongwu's expectations happened. There was no way to seal the pink mist. It turned into a small sword and shot towards Yan Hongwu. Damn it. Yan Hongwu's expression changed. This was not good. How was he to block it? Once the aura of lust was absorbed into the body, it would definitely trigger lust and cause one to lose control and go crazy. At that time, who knew what would happen? Careful. Zhao Miaomiao and the others were alarmed. The aura of lust was actually so powerful that there was no way to seal it. Now, they were in big trouble. Just as the pink aura of lust was about to enter Yan Hongwu's body, a black light appeared on Yan Hongwu's right hand. A small black hole appeared on his right palm. A small black dragon flew out from the small black hole. The small black dragon opened its mouth and a suction force appeared. Like a whale swallowing water, it immediately absorbed the pink aura of lust. After absorbing the aura of lust, Yan Hongwu's right hand wriggled and returned to normal. However, a small red dot appeared on Yan Hongwu's right hand. You actually absorbed the aura of lust? Seeing this scene, the crowd felt disbelief. The aura of lust was something that even exalted experts might not be able to resist. It was not poison, nor was it anything else. There was simply nothing that could resist it. Only those who had severed their emotions and desires. But who could do such a thing? Even great emperors had their own emotions. Therefore, those secret techniques and abilities that could control lust were the most terrifying methods. The reason why Duan Siyuan was so arrogant and why so many people were unable to capture or kill him was because of this trump card. However, no one had expected that this incomparably arrogant expert, Duan Siyuan, would actually die at the hands of Yan Hongwu. He didn't even get to see Yan Hongwu's face before dying. He was incomparably sullen. Not only that, but even his incomparably powerful aura of lust could not be dealt with. The infatuating love sail had also fallen into Yan Hongwu's hands. Without the aura of lust, this bewitching love sail is just a decent immortal artifact. At this time, Yan Hongwu looked at the enchanted love sail in his hand and sighed. The key to this thing was the Qi of Lust. Without the Qi of Lust, it was completely useless. It was only equivalent to a treasure with relatively strong defense. It's not that simple. This enchantment sail can invisibly absorb the Qi of Lust. Although it has fallen, it can still grow bit by bit. This enchantment sail has the potential to grow into an emperor artifact. At this moment, Zhao Piapiao said, "My elder sister is a master blacksmith." "If she says so, then it's basically true," said Zhao Miaomiao. "A growing weapon?" Yan Hongwu was surprised. Growth-type weapons were rare and hard to come by. Of course, it was very difficult to make a weapon grow into an emperor weapon. It was even more difficult than for a warrior to cultivate an emperor weapon. However, once it matured into an emperor armament, its might would be boundless. Furthermore, it would have a great tacit understanding with its master. That's right. If it's refined properly, it'll be a very good weapon. Xiao Piapiao said, however, if you want this weapon to grow into an emperor weapon, you'll need to collect the qi of 7 emotions and 6 desires. This qi of 7 emotions and 6 desires is very difficult to collect. A growing weapon was indeed very attractive to Yan Hanwu. However, after thinking about it, he shook his head and said, no need. This thing is dispensable to me. If Senior needs it, you can take it. After saying that, Yan Hanwu handed the flag to Xiao Piapiao. Yan Hanwu did not have the time to collect the qi of 7 emotions and 6 desires. Furthermore, he could tell that Xiao Piapiao was very interested in this weapon. Thus, he might as well give it to her as a favor. Are you sure you're giving it to me? Xiao Piapiao was shocked. Even Zhao Miao Miao was surprised. This was a growing weapon that could grow into an emperor armament. It could be said to be a priceless treasure. It was much more precious than fake emperor armaments, even though it was still far from being comparable to fake emperor armaments. Of course. I don't need weapons and equipment anymore. I have quite a lot of them myself. They're more than enough. Furthermore, for a cultivator, if they rely too much on external items, their future achievements will ultimately be limited, Yan Hanwu said with a sigh. You're too stubborn. At this moment, Xiao Piapiao shook her head and said, the so-called external items are merely tools. For a cultivator, isn't their own body a tool as well? Thus, weapons and equipment are not harmful to the cultivator. On the contrary, if they're used properly, they'll be of great help to one's cultivation. In fact, one can even place one's origin spirit in them and turn them into one's own divine armament clone. Divine armament clone? This was the first time Yan Hanwu had heard of this term. What's a divine armament clone? Isn't it similar to a puppet clone? The so-called divine armament clone is what I've just said. Place one's origin spirit in a divine armament and refine the divine armament into one's own body. Then, separate it out and turn it into an independent clone. However, this independent clone is a part of one's own origin spirit and has a consciousness. Once this is done, the power of the divine armament will be unleashed to the extreme. In battle, one's own combat strength will be enhanced tremendously. Xiao Piapiao said, there was once a great sage called Tom Yuan Grand Sage. He refined a divine armament clone. This Tom Yuan Grand Sage once killed a great emperor with the strength of a late great sage. This shows how powerful the divine armament clone is. Yan Hanwu was extremely shocked when he heard this. The gap between a great sage and a great emperor was simply too big. They were not at the same level at all. One was in the sky while the other was on the ground. There was no comparison at all. This was unlike the gap between the Tao platform realm, the divine realm, or even the honorable realm. Although there was only a gap between a great sage and a great emperor, with the strength of a great emperor, he could easily eliminate countless great sages. It was basically impossible for a great sage to defeat or even kill a great emperor. Even among great emperors, it was simply too difficult to kill each other at that level. Was the divine armament clone really that terrifying? Was it really that powerful? How can I refine a divine armament clone that belongs to me? Since the divine armament clone was so powerful, Yan Hanwu was indeed tempted. If he could really refine it, wouldn't his strength be greatly enhanced? For Yan Hanwu, the art of cloning wasn't rare. The qi transforming 3 pristine ones belonged to the art of cloning, and it was very mysterious. Chapter 633. Seclusion Array. I don't know. It's not easy to create a divine weapon avatar. Rumor has it that there's a divine weapon heavenly crafting talisman in the ancient region. You can find the method to create a divine weapon avatar with it. It's said that it was left behind by the Tom Yuan Grand Sage, said Xiao Piapiao. It was useless to say it. It was too difficult to find the divine weapon heavenly crafting talisman. If it could be found, it would have been found long ago. However, I have a piece of news. It's said that the Tong Yuan Grand Sage went to the ancient Magi Palace in the desolate wilderness. He might have left some information there, said Zhao Piapiao after seeing Yang Hongwu's disappointment. Forget it. We'll talk about it later. Yang Hongwu was a little tempted. He would go to the ancient Magi ruins in the desolate wilderness. However, he didn't know if he could find the ancient Magi Palace. Now, he didn't have to worry about the safety of the Cloud Rain sect. Yang Hongwu, Hu Xiu'er, and Jing Qiushuang left the next day after a loving moment. After leaving the Cloud Rain sect, Yang Hongwu rushed back to the teleportation formation of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion as fast as he could. Of course, Yang Hongwu told Yu Ji and the others about his situation before he left. He told them that he was safe and that they didn't have to worry about him. Moreover, he had already gotten the medicinal ingredients. As for the other things, he didn't expose them. After all, if the fact that he killed Tianxin Lang and the others was exposed, he would be in big trouble. Although the matter of Heavenly Godling being killed by him would definitely be exposed once Heavenly Godling revived, there was still some time before that. By the time he truly revived, the Immortal Palace ranking battle would have already begun. Once he entered the 5 extreme space, how could Tianxin Lang be his opponent? He was just a defeated opponent. Without the cold blood saber, his strength would be greatly reduced. The only person that Yang Hongwu was worried about was Zitian. In order to hasten their journey, Yang Hongwu even used a Great Shift Talisman. This was a Great Shift Talisman that Yang Hongwu had specially refined. Because there was no need to worry about spatial turbulence, Yang Hongwu did not have to worry about using the Great Shift Talisman. After all, he only needed to know the direction of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion. What is this place? Yang Hongwu used the teleportation talisman to travel a distance of 500 kilometers before appearing in a small village. However, this small village was deathly still. There was not the slightest trace of life, causing one to feel extremely oppressed. Evil Spirit Death Chi. This is to collect Evil Spirit Death Chi. Someone must have set up an evil spirit killing formation here. That's why everyone in this village is dead. Gu Shaoxian said. That shouldn't be the case. This is the territory of the first Tianyi Immortal Abode. No demon would dare to do such an evil thing in the territory of the first Tianyi Immortal Abode. This matter caused Gu Shaoxian to be extremely puzzled. Doing such an evil thing within the sphere of influence of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion was tantamount to courting death. There was simply no way to conceal it. However, it had indeed happened. Furthermore, it seemed to have happened quite some time ago. Collecting Evil Spirit Death Chi? Could it be that they're trying to concoct the Evil Spirit Life and Death Golden Pellet? Yang Hongwu's expression changed. The Evil Spirit Life and Death Golden Pellet was a special kind of pellet. It was not classified into grades. The reason for that was because it did not require too much of an alchemist to concoct it. As long as one was a rank 6 alchemist, they would be able to concoct it. Furthermore, the effect of this pellet might even surpass that of a rank 9 pellet. Once consumed, it would allow the person who consumed it to break through to the next level without any pressure or restriction. It could even allow the person who consumed it to break through to the exalted realm. However, this kind of pellet was too evil. The after effects were very serious. One would need to collect the Evil Spirit Death Chi for more than 10 years. One would need to kill countless people to gather enough Evil Spirit Death Chi. After that, one would need to spend another 100 years to concoct the pellet. There was also a particular method to consuming the Evil Spirit Life and Death Golden Pellet. One would need to refine and consume the blood essence of boys and girls of Purine and Purian. Moreover, the after effects were very terrifying. It could easily cause the person to lose their mind and become a puppet of the Evil Spirit Death Chi. They would become a devil who would commit all kinds of crimes and lose their own consciousness. That should be the case. It seems like this person has been preparing for a long time. I wonder who it is. Gu Shaoxian said. We must report this matter to the leader. If I'm not mistaken, the person who did this is not an outsider. He's a disciple or an elder of the Tanny Immortal Mansion. Moreover, his position in the Tanny Immortal Mansion is quite high, Yang Hanwu said. Yes, it's extremely detestable. As a disciple of the Tanny Immortal Mansion, he actually did such an evil thing. This is a heinous crime. He deserves to be killed. He deserves to be killed. Gu Shaoxian said. Let's go and see who is collecting the evil spirit death chi, Yang Hanwu said as a cold light flashed in his eyes. Gu Shaoxian nodded. The two of them moved forward. Yang Hanwu was very careful. He even released the spiritual cat puppet. Not only that, but he also let the cat activate its delusion breaker eye. Since the other party dared to collect the evil spirit death chi so openly, his strength and status were definitely not something an ordinary person could compare with. Even Godlung would not dare to do so. In the Tanny Immortal Mansion, there were only a few people who had such a status. Among the disciples, there was probably only Ao Tianyi. Yang Hanwu had a vague feeling that this person might not be Ao Tianyi, but he was closely related to him. Detestable, detestable. Along the way, it was all empty and lifeless. There was not a single trace of life in a few villages. Everyone was dead. This made Yang Hanwu feel a little numb. Everyone was dead. In fact, the entire city had become a dead city. Lin Fan took a deep breath. These people had committed heinous crimes and had lost their minds. Such a huge city had actually become a dead city. There were millions of people here, and they were all killed and refined into the evil spirit death chi. Not a single person is alive. Yang Hanwu said, "How is it possible that there is no news at all? I'm afraid they've set up a formation." Gu Shaoxian said, "I once saw a formation in an ancient book. If such a formation is set up, no matter how close the distance is, everything that happens inside will not be transmitted. This formation is called the isolation formation. The city we're in now and the surrounding villages are probably shrouded in such a formation." Isolation formation? That's true. Yang Hanwu looked around and saw that there really was a huge formation. To set up such a huge isolation formation, it would definitely cost a huge amount of resources. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to set it up. Even some small sects and families wouldn't be able to set it up with their entire family. Only the 10 great clans, 7 great sects, and 4 great immortal mansions had the ability to set up such a formation. Chapter 634. The way to break the formation. Let me think about it. Yang Hanwu frowned. He thought for a moment and said, "It's not impossible to break this formation. However, we haven't found the core of the formation yet. We need to find the core of the formation first. The core of the formation must be in this city, but it'll take some time to find the exact location. It'll be much easier if we can sense the gathering point of the life chi." Gu Shaoxian said. Death chi, a place of death, a place of life. So, the life chi gathering point should be the place where the death chi gathers. Yang Hanwu closed his eyes and tried to sense the direction of the death chi. After a few breaths, Yang Hanwu suddenly opened his eyes. I sensed it. It's in the west. The black tortoise is in charge of killing. The death chi gathers where the death chi gathers. So, it's in the west. Yang Hanwu pointed to the right and said. The white tiger kills, the heavenly punishment is full of murderous intent. It's a narrow escape. Gu Xiaoshuan's face darkened as she looked to the west. There was boundless death chi and murderous intent. Even a venerable realm expert would lose a layer of skin if they entered. The murderous intent was too terrifying. The death chi of the evil spirit had probably given birth to intelligence. This was no longer a simple refinement of the life and death golden pill. Could it be to refine the life and death evil spirit? Yang Hongwu's face changed drastically when he thought of this. Setting up an isolation formation to cut off the heavenly Tao and then refine the life and death evil spirit was absolutely evil. Only a person who wanted to exterminate all living beings would dare to do such a thing. Such a person was definitely a supreme devil. Junior brother, what should we do now? Gu Shaoxian was at her wit's end after realizing the seriousness of the matter. This was beyond her understanding and control. It was impossible for her to break this formation. She no longer had the demeanor of a senior sister of Heavenly Spirit Peak. Let me think about it, Yan Hanwu said. He had no other choice but to ask for help from Bauer and the others. He hoped that they could find a way to break this formation. Yang Hanwu was confident that he could survive in such a terrifying place, but he didn't dare to act rashly. What if he failed to break the formation and released the death evil spirit instead? That would be even more terrifying. The life and death evil spirit, 9 heavens and 10 earth. Although it was just a poem, it was used to describe how terrifying the life and death evil spirit was. No one to resist it. Of course, compared to the great demon in the Earth Spirit Palace, it was still a huge disaster for the ancient region. 10 deadly life and death evil spirits, isolation formation. I never thought that there would be such a terrifying formation in this world. Bauer woke up and communicated with Yan Hanwu. He was also shocked. This kind of formation was inhumane and could destroy heaven and earth. It was a formation that couldn't be tolerated by heaven and earth. Once detected by the heavenly Tao, one would fall into the abyss of hell for eternity. They would suffer endless torment and pain. They wouldn't be able to live or die unless their strength surpassed the heavenly Tao and broke the shackles of the heavenly Tao. Ordinary people wouldn't dare to do such a thing. Could it be someone from outside the domain? Bauer said in a deep voice. Only someone from outside the domain, who didn't belong to the 5 elements, would dare to set up such a formation. Only such a person wouldn't be detected easily. However, if someone from outside the 9 heavens and 10 earth entered the formation, they would be detected by the heavenly Tao and be exterminated by boundless heavenly punishment. However, this place obviously didn't experience heavenly punishment. It wasn't even detected by the heavenly Tao. This was very thought-provoking. Someone from outside the domain? Yes. Even if he's not from outside the domain, he must have colluded with someone from outside the 9 heavens and 10 earth, Bauer said. Then how can I break the formation? Yang Hanwu was now concerned about this matter. If he couldn't break the formation, he wouldn't be able to get out. He might even be sucked away and die here. It's not impossible to break this formation. But your cultivation isn't high enough. Bauer took a deep breath and said to Yan Hanwu, if you use it forcefully, it will have a great impact on your cultivation. Have a great impact on me? Yan Hanwu frowned. This was going to be troublesome. Normally, Yan Hanwu wouldn't worry about this. But now, he was going to enter the 5-pole space to participate in the Immortal Mansion ranking battle in 2 months. In that case, he would have to face Zetian. If he didn't have enough strength and was affected, it would be even more troublesome. Yang Hanwu vaguely felt that there would be a great change in this Immortal Mansion ranking battle. This change would be earth-shattering. Moreover, it was closely related to him and Zetian. If he didn't handle it well, he might die and the entire ancient domain might disappear. This was going to be the most terrifying and serious crisis he had ever faced since he had transmigrated to this world. What kind of impact will it have? Yang Hanwu asked. Will it affect my Immortal Mansion ranking battle in the 5 extreme space in 2 months? It's much more serious than you think. If you want to recover within 2 months, you'll have to find 2 women with purine immortal bodies to perform dual cultivation with. You'll have to break through the 6th level of the Yin-Yang 9 transformations and enter the Yin-Yang 6 transformation stage. Only then will you be able to resolve this crisis, Bauer explained. 6 transformation Yin-Yang harmony art. How difficult was this? If it was only the 5 transformation Yin-Yang harmony art, it would be possible. With Gu Xiaoshuan's help, it wouldn't be a problem to successfully break through the 5 transformation Yin-Yang harmony art. However, it would be difficult to reach the 6 transformation Yin-Yang harmony art. Even if Bai Iran was willing, she wouldn't have enough time to do it, let alone those with purine immoral bodies. If he practiced dual cultivation with Gu Shaoxian, he could reach the 5 transformation yin-yang harmony art. After reaching the 5 transformation yin-yang harmony art, he would need time to accumulate. 2 months definitely wouldn't be enough. Therefore, this was too unrealistic. It was more difficult than ascending to the sky. Is there no other way? Yang Hanwu asked. There should be more than one way. As the saying goes, heaven never bars one's way. There's another way. Bauer thought for a while and said, although this method can be done, it will also cause great damage to you. It will cause your cultivation to regress. If you're not careful, your soul will scatter and your Tao will disappear. Yang Hongwu's face turned bitter. What the F***ck? Was there no better way? Why did he have to pay such a high price for every one of them? Was it his own body and not other things? Chapter 635. Yama's Underworld. What is it? Yang Hanwu asked, pleasantly surprised. This method is also risky. Just say it. Isn't it better than being trapped here and dying? Yang Hanwu said. The demonic hand sealed in your right hand has an extraordinary origin. It might even be more powerful than the demon sealed in the Earth Soul Palace. If you can activate the power of the demonic hand, you'll be able to easily devour the aura of death and increase your cultivation level. That way, you'll lose the aura of death and the array formation will collapse on its own. However, the danger is that you'll be devoured by the demonic hand at any time. In fact, if your willpower isn't strong enough, you'll probably turn into a demon before you even break the array formation and become a killing machine with no self-awareness, Bauer said in a serious tone. There's no better way now. Yang Hanwu didn't want to use the demonic hand's power, but if there was no better way, this was the only way. Then again, if the demonic hand really wanted to control him, he might not be able to resist. Every time the demonic hand erupted, he couldn't suppress it at all. Therefore, Yang Hanwu said to Gu Shaoxian, enter my immoral pagoda's small world first. No, I'll go with you. Gu Shaoxian shook her head. It's too dangerous. If I want to break this formation in a short time, I'll need to use extreme methods. If you're here, not only will you not be able to help me, but you'll also distract me. Therefore, you should enter the immoral pagoda's space first. Come out after I break the formation. Since the Zhenlong world had been handed over to Bauer, Yang Hanwu let Gu Shaoxian enter his immoral pagoda's space. After sending Gu Shaoxian into the immoral pagoda's space, Yang Hanwu walked towards the west where the boundless killing intent was. His speed was neither fast nor slow. What a terrifying killing intent. What a powerful evil spirit death chi. Yang Hanwu was shocked as he watched the death chi of the evil spirits condense and churn, turning into terrifying evil spirits. These evil spirits were extremely cruel. They let out ear-piercing screeches as they bared their fangs and brandished their claws. Each and every one of them was incomparably savage as they pounced on Yang Hanwu. What should I do? How can I activate the demonic hand's power? Yang Hanwu was anxious. Ask the immoral pagoda and zither of true dragon to stop suppressing the demonic hand. Bauer's voice sounded in Yang Hanwu's voice immoral pagoda. Yang Hanwu released the immoral pagoda's immoral pagodas, and released the 9-9 dragon saber. The demonic hand dragon the pagoda pagodas. The immoral pagoda demonic devil immoral dragon the demon immoral transin immoral island Imasim. When the demonic hand was released, it immediately formed a black hole. This black hole kept spinning, absorbing the evil spirit death chi in the surroundings. The evil spirit death chi didn't escape at all. One by one, the evil spirits rushed into the black hole in the right hand. The demonic hand's power kept expanding. It became more and more terrifying and powerful. Even a supremacy couldn't resist its aura and pressure. Feeling this terrifying change, Yang Hanwu became more and more worried. If there was no way to control the demonic hand, the situation would be even more serious. The evil spirit death chi was endless, and the evil spirits were too many to count. After being devoured wave after wave, another wave appeared. This couldn't go on. The evil spirit death chi hadn't been completely absorbed, and the formation hadn't been broken yet. If he couldn't hold on any longer, he might really become the demonic hand's slave. Yang Hanwu felt that the demonic hand was beginning to affect him. The demonic nature was becoming more and more difficult to suppress. This couldn't go on. "Sure, Bauer, is there any way to solve this situation?" Yang Hanwu asked loudly. Although the right hand had devoured a lot of the evil spirit death chi and evil spirits, it would still take some time to completely break the formation. "Circulate the 9 transformation yin-yang harmony art with all your might." Sure, Bauer said, "I don't have any other solutions either. This ghoulish death aura is just too bizarre. It would be great if you could get the inheritance of the Yellow Spring Emperor. The Yellow Spring Emperor's Yellow Spring Art of Life and Death can refine the ghoulish death aura and turn it into pure energy. Then, you won't have to worry about being affected by the ghoulish death aura and ghoulish spirits." The Yellow Spring Great Emperor? Yang Hanwu had only obtained the Yama's invitation refined by the Yellow Spring Great Emperor. This Yama's invitation was the key to the Yellow Spring Great Emperor's inheritance, but no one had comprehended it. Before this, Yang Hanwu had also studied it, but he didn't find anything. "No matter what, let's give it a try." Yang Hanwu separated a part of his mind power and controlled the Yama's invitation. Immediately, the Yama's invitation flew out. As soon as the Yama's invitation flew out, it turned into a Yama's Great Hall. This was the Sunluo Underworld. Only in the Sunluo Underworld was there a Yama's Palace, also known as the Sunluo Hell. In the Sunluo Underworld, a tall and mighty man was sitting in the Sunluo Underworld's Great Hall, full of supreme majesty. He was wearing a black dragon robe. This was the Yama King, the Yama Great Emperor, the spirit of the Yama's invitation. The Yama Great Emperor waved his hand and countless Yama ghost soldiers greedily devoured the evil spirit death chi. This evil spirit death chi was extremely harmful to cultivators, without any benefits. It was like an extremely violent poison. However, it was different for these ghost soldiers. The evil spirit death chi was the supreme supplement for the Yama ghost soldiers. Devouring the evil spirit death chi and evil spirits could continuously improve their cultivation. As they devoured the evil spirit death chi, some of the Yama ghost soldiers began to evolve, from Yama ghost soldiers to Yama ghost generals. The power of the Yama's invitation grew stronger, and the Yama Great Emperor who was in charge of the Sunluo Underworld's Great Hall became more majestic and powerful. After dozens of breaths, all the evil spirit death chi and evil spirits were devoured. Compared to before, the Yama's invitation had undergone earth-shattering changes. In the Yama's invitation, all the Yama ghost soldiers had evolved into Yama ghost generals. I didn't expect the Yama's invitation to have such a magical effect. The Yellow Spring Great Emperor is indeed powerful. This is basically an emperor weapon. Sure, Bauer was shocked to see the changes in the Yama's invitation. The upgraded Yama's invitation was incomparably powerful. Even the demon hand was suppressed by it. Although the demon hand was also devouring the evil spirit death chi, it was far less powerful than the Yama's invitation. In the Yama's invitation, the Yama's palace had taken shape. It also began to evolve into the 18 layers of hell. That was the real Yama's underworld, the Yama's hell. Now that the evil spirit death chi and evil spirits were gone, the entire grand formation was broken. The surrounding spiritual chi surged, and the originally gloomy ghost city began to glow with vitality. With the death chi gone, vitality burst forth. As the saying went, put death on the ground and fight to live. The extreme of death was life. The two extremes of life and death. Chapter 636. Aozhengzi, where is this place? Yang Hanwu saw a mountain peak. This was the core of the isolation array. Furthermore, this place was actually within the mountain range of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion. Although it was not the center of the mountain range, and was very far away from the main palace of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion, it was still within the main region of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion. Who would have thought that the person who set up the spirit formation would be so daring? Here, this is Jingzi Mountain. After the formation was opened, Gu Xiaoshuan's expression changed. Righteous Mountain was Grand Elder Ao Jingzi's territory, and Ao Jingzi was Ao Tianyi's grandfather. Ao Jingzi, who was in seclusion, immediately had a change in expression. He felt that the formation had been broken. The formation has been broken. Damn it, who is it that actually broke my array formation? He finished speaking. With a flash, he disappeared from where he stood. He's here. Yan Hanwu sensed a change in space. Not far in front of him, space fluctuated and a figure appeared in front of him. This person was none other than Grand Elder Ao Jingzi. Gu Xiaoxian, it's you? Ao Jingzi's face darkened when he saw Gu Xiaoxian. He didn't know Yan Hanwu. He had been in seclusion all this time and knew nothing about Yan Hanwu. However, when they saw Gu Xiaoxian, they were shocked. Gu Xiaoxian had actually become a 7th grade array master. This old man is a 7th grade array master, Shi Bao said to Yan Hanwu through telepathy. A 7th grade array master. This was not surprising. If he was not an array master, he would not be able to arrange such an evil array. It was even impossible for him to know about such an array. Elder Ao, how could you be so deranged as to set up such an evil formation here? Gu Xiaoxian scolded loudly. Since you know about it, all of you have to die. Ao Jingzi's face was gloomy and filled with madness. The formation that he had painstakingly set up over hundreds of years was destroyed in an instant. It was all for the sake of breaking through to the venerable realm. He had never thought that such a situation would occur. The formation was broken, and all the evil spirit death chi had disappeared. This made him extremely angry. You want to kill us? Are you dreaming? Yan Hanwu sneered. Although this guy was a supreme elder with the strength of the 4th step of the martial highness realm, it was impossible for him to kill Yan Hanwu. However, it seemed like this old man still had some tricks up his sleeve. Ignorant brat, you're only at the 5th level of the Tao Foundation realm. How dare you speak such nonsense here? You don't know how high the heavens are. I'll teach you a lesson on behalf of your seniors. As Ao Jingzi spoke, he grabbed out with his hand towards Yan Hanwu. Boundless magical power condensed into a terrifying hand that covered the sky. This was the legendary heaven-covering sun hand. Even the sun and moon of heaven and earth would be covered. Heaven and earth would lose their color, and the sun and moon would lose their light. The entire sky was blocked, and it became gloomy. 9 Dragon Saint Body, open. Herculean Technique. Mysterious Dragon's 9 Transformations, 5th Transformation. Jingshan Finger, 1 finger to frighten ghosts and gods. 2 fingers slaying gods and demons. 3rd finger to destroy heaven and earth. Yang Hanwu burst out with his full strength, and the Jingshan Finger was fully activated. In the sky, a huge finger was condensed. This huge finger broke through the void and pierced through the huge hand, creating a huge hole. Boom! With a loud explosion, the huge hand that covered the sky was shattered and turned into nothingness. The dark sky became clear all of a sudden. A terrifying aura spread out in all directions like a wave. Wherever it went, the ground would be torn apart, and the plants would be crushed. It was like a surging flood, unstoppable. The plants that had only just begun to shine with vitality after decaying and withering were all shattered, suffering a terrifying disaster. Damn it! Ao Jingzi struck out a palm in the void to stop himself. This terrifying power had shocked him to the extreme. Yang Hongwu's body was covered in golden light, and there were 9 divine dragons revolving around him. He looked like the 9 dragon sovereign, and heaven and earth were worshipping him. Ao Jingzi's mind was shaken, and he couldn't help but want to kneel down and worship him. Such a supreme battle body should be the legendary 9 dragon saint body. It was the legendary demonic dragon body, a forbidden existence. Terrifying, that's why it's so terrifying. Demonic dragon, it's actually the demonic dragon bloodline inheritance. If I can refine your bloodline, I will become a supreme existence. I will control the entire ancient domain, and become the ruler of ancient domain. In the future, I will also become a supreme great emperor, and control the entire heavenly domain. I will be the sole ruler of the 9 heavens and 10 earths. As he spoke, something appeared in Aozheng's hand. It was a black skull. He threw the skull out, and it turned into huge skulls that flew towards Yan Hanwu. They formed a huge skull circle around him, and Yan Hanwu was in the middle. Demonic Bone Great Sage, Sealing Technique. With my blood as the guide, in the name of the demon sovereign, seal. Aozheng's bit his finger, and a drop of blood flew out, forming a strange blood-colored rune in the air. That strange blood-colored rune attracted the power of law, and the skull bracelet kept shrinking. It kept encircling Yan Hanwu, and even the surrounding space was sealed. It wanted to trap Yan Hanwu alive. Feeling the change of power and law around him, Yan Hanwu's face changed. This terrifying sealing technique isolated the power of law around him. This was a forbidden technique, a technique of the demon Tao. Demonic Bone Great Sage, the demon sovereign of the demon race. Damn, this was a heinous crime. This person cultivated a forbidden technique of the demon race. Aozhengza was an elder of the Tianyi immortal abode, but he fell into the demon Tao, and became a member of the demon race. However, Yan Hanwu didn't have time to think so much. Right now, the most important thing for him was to figure out how to open the seal. Battle Spirit Possession. There was no other way. He could only use the Battle Spirit Possession. This sealing technique was too terrifying. Even the world's laws were shackled. He couldn't feel the existence of power, and the surrounding spiritual energy couldn't be stimulated. Even if Luli appeared, he wouldn't be a match for it. He could only use the Battle Spirit Possession and accepting Xiaorui's power to forcibly break through the shackle. Demon Slaying Finger. After the Battle Spirit Possession, Yan Hanwu's cultivation aura suddenly soared, and he reached the second level of the Venerable Realm. A terrifying power erupted, as if the world was angry. The monstrous power was unstoppable, and it wanted to break through everything. Ping ping ping. A giant finger appeared once again. This finger wasn't the Jingshan finger, but the demon-slaying finger. It was the demon-slaying finger that was derived from the Jingshan finger. Wherever the golden finger went, the demonic energy retreated and disappeared. The skulls constantly retreated, not daring to touch it. Once they encountered the golden power, they would collapse. Demon Slaying. Demon Slaying. One after another, huge deities appeared in the sky, chanting ancient and mysterious incantations. Bang! With a terrifying explosion, the golden power erupted, dyeing the world golden. The demonic energy dissipated, and the skulls exploded. Chapter 637. Thousand Ghosts Devouring Formation. Yan Hanwu didn't show any mercy. He took advantage of the victory to pursue an attack. He rushed up like a shooting arrow or like a meteor streaking across the sky. He turned into a white light and appeared beside Aozhengza. Killing fist of 10 directions. Fist after fist bombarded fiercely. Terrifying murderous aura condensed into Azuras. These Azuras were filled with murderous aura. It was terrifying to the extreme. Every move he made was fatal. Aozhengza, who was sent flying, was battered and exhausted. He never thought that this guy's strength was far beyond his imagination. He was only a 5th-level Dao pedestal cultivator. He didn't know what secret technique he used to be so terrifying. His strength had reached the Venerable Realm. He was no match for him. He retreated step by step. He could only defend himself. In just a few moves, Aozhengza's body was covered with wounds. His aura was getting weaker and weaker. If this goes on, I'll die in the hands of these 2 juniors. Aozhengza's eyes shot out a sharp light. He took out an item. It was a formation plate. The formation plate flew out and turned into a terrifying killing formation. They were malicious ghosts. This was the Thousand Ghosts Devouring Soul Array. It was Aozhengza's greatest trump card. It was much more terrifying than the skull bracelet. The Thousand Ghosts Devouring Soul formation was not an ordinary formation. 10,000 terrifying ghosts were gathered in this formation. Each of these ghosts was extremely ferocious and had terrifying strength. The weakest one was at the first step honorable realm. This was something he had obtained in an ancient devil's cave. At that time, it could be said that he had narrowly escaped death and was almost finished. He hadn't used it yet. It was originally prepared for the leaders of the 4 great immoral mansions and those old antiques. He didn't expect that he would be forced to use it at this time. Formation plate? It's actually an 8th grade formation plate. When Yan Hanwu saw the dense ghost chi coming out of the disc array, his face suddenly changed. This disc array was not an ordinary disc array. Its might was terrifying. The ghost chi that permeated the space was much more terrifying than an ordinary malicious spirit. Each and every one of these malicious ghost souls was probably extremely powerful. Furthermore, it contained a terrifying amount of energy. Even Yan Hanwu was shocked by this terrifying amount of energy. Those were countless malicious ghosts. The sheer number of them left one speechless. I didn't expect that you would force me to use the Thousand Ghosts Devouring formation plate. I originally prepared it for those old bastards. You've forced me to this point. It's your honor to die in this formation plate. Ao Jingze waved his hand and the formation plate opened. The entire sky and land became dark again. The entire space was shrouded by the terrifying ghost chi. Thousands of ghosts were densely packed. They kept letting out sharp screams. Their screams made one's hair stood. Go, myriad ghosts devour souls, devour them. Ao Jingze burst out laughing and waved his hand. I'll show you the pain of having your soul devoured by 10,000 ghosts. Even Martial Highness realm experts can't resist it. I found it in an ancient cave, and it took me 100 years to refine it so that I can control it freely. Back off. Back off. Yan Hanwu pulled Gu Shaoxian and kept retreating. However, how could they be faster than the ghosts? Woo! Woo! Cries, terrifying roars, and screams rang in their ears incessantly. The ghosts looked ferocious. They bared their fangs and brandished their claws. They charged towards Yan Hanwu and Gu Shaoxian. They wanted to tear them to pieces and devour them alive. Rip! Gu Shaoxian was caught off guard. Her clothes were torn. A bloody mark appeared on her arm. The area where she was scratched turned black instantly. It was extremely poisonous. This was the poison of the ghosts. The death chi was incomparably evil and difficult to resist. Gu Xiaoshuan's face turned pale. Yan Hongwu's face was extremely gloomy. He quickly took out a few antidote pills and gave them to Gu Shaoxian. After taking them, Gu Xiaoshuan's face changed. She became rosy. If it wasn't for his antidote pills, Gu Shaoxian would have died in a few breaths. This poison was terrifying. These ghosts were specially refined. They were not ordinary ghosts. Their bodies were filled with terrifying poison. This poison was the death chi. Once infected, even the soul would be corroded. After death, they would become terrifying ghosts. Just like the ghosts in the Thousand Ghosts Devouring Spirit Array, they would become mindless ghosts that only knew how to kill. They would become a part of the array disc. That was why the Thousand Ghosts Devouring Spirit Array was so powerful and terrifying. Only an 8th grade array disc could have such terrifying power. It was not inferior to an Emperor weapon. In fact, it was even more terrifying than an Emperor weapon in the hands of someone with lower cultivation. Don't resist. I'll put you into the Immortal Pagoda. Yang Hanwu quickly said. Here, Gu Shaoxian could not resist at all. Here, she had no way to resist these terrible malicious ghosts. The poison of these malicious ghosts was too horrible. Once infected, there was no way to resist. Just now, if he did not react in time and had a powerful detoxification pill, Gu Shaoxian would have died. Yang Hanwu wasn't sure if he could still take care of her. So, he could only put her into the Immortal Pagoda. Gu Shaoxian also knew that she couldn't help Yan Hanwu at all. She would even be a burden to him. So, she didn't say anything. She nodded. Under Yang Hongwu's control, she turned into a white light and disappeared into the immortal pagoda. There's also a spatial world treasure. Good, very good. After killing you, it's all mine. Ao Jingzi looked at Gu Shaoxian, who suddenly disappeared. He guessed that Yang Hongwu had a weapon that could store living people. Or maybe he had his own small world. Either way, once he caught Yang Hongwu, it would be of great help to Ao Jingzi. Moreover, his cultivation technique was so terrifying. He was only at the 5th level of the Dao pedestal realm, but he could erupt with such terrifying power. It forced him to reveal his final trump card. So, this kid must die. He couldn't let him go. 1,000 ghosts devouring spirit array, devour souls and take lives. He let out a loud roar and formed a mysterious hand seal with both hands. Those malicious ghosts became even stronger, as if they had received a huge boost of power. Jingshan finger, one finger to frighten ghosts and gods. The Jingshan finger was used again. One by one, the ghosts died under the terrifying power of the finger. Although the Jingshan finger's effect was good, it was still far from enough. If this continued, who knew how long it would take to kill all the ghosts? Chapter 638. Buddhist cultivation method. Neither the Jingshan finger nor the demonic finger worked, which made Yang Hongwu frown. Sure, Bauer, is there any way to deal with these malicious ghosts? Yang Hongwu could only turn to Sure Bauer for help. The 1,000 ghosts devouring soul formation is an extremely evil formation. These malicious spirits have all been specially refined. They are like weapons. They have undergone a unique method to make them full of resistance. Ordinary methods are unable to kill them. Sure Bauer said, therefore, there is only one way to deal with the 10,000 ghosts devouring formation, and that is to use the Buddhist cultivation method. The Buddhist cultivation method is extremely lethal to demons and devils. Buddhist cultivation technique? Yes, didn't you revive the 1,000 Buddha ruler? He even cultivated that Buddhist cultivation technique? Sure Bauer said, you can give it a try and see if you can deal with these malicious ghosts. If I'm not wrong, using Buddhist techniques to deal with these malicious ghosts will have an unexpected effect. Yang Hongwu nodded. Now that there was no other way, it was not a bad idea to try Buddhist techniques. 1,000 Buddha Tathagata, great freedom and light. Yang Hongwu formed hand seals and started chanting. This was the 1,000 Buddha demon extermination art. It was a skill that he had obtained from the 1,000 Buddha ruler. This 1,000 Buddha demon extermination art was extremely powerful and had a shocking killing power against ghosts. Buddhas appeared one after another. These Buddhas were like the incarnations of Lord Gautama Buddha. They were filled with light and golden auras. This aura was the bane of these malicious ghosts. Under the illumination of the Buddha's light, these ferocious ghosts all let out mournful cries. They kept twisting and struggling, as if they had suffered some terrible damage. 1,000 Buddha ruler, Vajra glare, kill. The 1,000 Buddha ruler in Yang Hongwu's hand changed. Buddhas flew out and turned into Vajra arhats and 8 division heavenly dragons. These Buddhas were like tigers in a flock of sheep. The evil spirits were no match for them. They were all converted, killed, and refined. 1 evil spirit was converted, 10 evil spirits were converted, 100 evil spirits were converted. Hundreds and thousands of vengeful ghosts were converted. This kind of speed was really too shocking. The power of the 10,000 ghosts soul-devouring formation continued to weaken. Seeing this, Ao Jingzi was greatly shocked. What kind of cultivation technique is this? Buddhist techniques, Buddhist supreme treasures. How is this possible? How can you have Buddhist supreme treasures? Ao Jingzi screamed. Ao Jingzi, what other trump cards do you have? Bring them all out. Otherwise, you won't have a chance later. Yang Hongwu's lips curled into a smile as he looked at Ao Jingzi with disdain. Without the threat of the 10,000 ghosts soul-devouring formation, Ao Jingze was like a toothless tiger without any deterrence. There was no difficulty in killing him at all. When Ao Jingze saw that the situation was not good, he did not dare to stay. He did not dare to oppose Yan Hanwu. He immediately opened the teleportation array and prepared to teleport away. However, would Yan Hanwu let him have his way? What a joke! Teleporting away? This was a joke. Yan Hanwu had already made arrangements for this long ago. Mauer! Yan Hanwu shouted, and Mauer moved. As a Totoro cat, Mauer's specialty was the law of space. If Ao Jingze wanted to escape, he could only rely on the teleportation array. However, Yan Hanwu was a formation master himself, and Mauer had the space attribute mystique. It was not only useful for escaping, but also for attacking enemies and destroying arrays. Therefore, the moment Ao Jingze opened the teleportation array, Mauer moved. She activated the power of space and shattered the array core of the teleportation array. No, my teleportation array. Why is it like this? Ao Jingze realized that after his teleportation array was activated, there was a flash of light and the array collapsed. This was his last escape route. The array formation was set up very discreetly. Moreover, it was extremely fast when it was activated. This was the fastest among all the teleportation arrays. In a breath's time, he could be teleported away. Moreover, the array formation would self-destruct at the same time as the teleportation. However, before he could enter the teleportation array, the array was destroyed as soon as it was activated. Ao Jingze, you won't be able to escape, Yan Hanwu said coldly. You want to teleport away? You're dreaming, do you know that? It's you. You're the one who did this. At this time, Ao Jingze reacted. He looked at Yan Hanwu with fear in his eyes. This guy was too terrifying. To be able to erupt with such powerful fighting strength and be so scheming, he was more scheming than the average person and those old antiques. It was as if he had already expected that Ao Jingze would escape, and use a teleportation array to completely seal off his escape route. That's right, it's me. A deranged person like you must die, Yan Hanwu said. Kill me? Ha, you can't kill me. I'm the Supreme Elder of the Tianyi Immortal Abode. You don't have the right. If you kill me, you'll be hunted down by the entire Tianyi Immortal Abode. Ao Jingze suddenly burst out laughing. He looked at Yan Hanwu and didn't take his words to heart at all. He was the Supreme Elder of the Tianyi Immortal Abode. How could he dare to go against him? How could he dare to offend the entire Tianyi Immortal Abode? One had to know that the Tianyi Immortal Abode was the second strongest power in the entire ancient domain. The disciples of the Tianyi Immortal Abode could be said to be present in every corner of the ancient domain. This was a huge power. In the ancient domain, only the other three great immortal abode could contend against the Tianyi Immortal Abode. Ao Jingze was the Supreme Elder of the Tianyi Immortal Abode. Even if the old ancestor of the Tai Shenfu came, he would have to think twice before killing him. You're the Supreme Elder of the Tai Shenfu. That makes you even more deserving of death, Yan Hanwu said coldly. Do you think that just because you're the Supreme Elder of the Tai Shenfu, I wouldn't dare to kill you? Ao Jingze saw that Yan Hanwu's killing intent was getting stronger. His face immediately sank. He had a bad premonition in his heart. He said, Aren't you afraid of being hunted down by the Tianyi Immortal Abode? Yan Hanwu smiled and said, I forgot to tell you. Actually, I'm also a disciple of the Tianyi Immortal Abode. Moreover, I'm the disciple of the Tianyi Immortal Abode's leader. Also, what do you think of my talent? What about my battle prowess? Do you think that the Tianyi Immortal Abode would offend a disciple with a boundless future like me if I killed you? Do you think that the Tianyi Immortal Abode would fall out with me because of your death? Yan Hanwu looked at him mockingly. No, this is impossible. How can you be a disciple of the Tianyi Immortal Abode? Moreover, you're the disciple of the leader. This is impossible. The leader only has one disciple, and that is my grandson, Ao Tianyi, Ao Jingze shouted. You're lying. You're definitely lying to me. Chapter 639. Demon Venerable Mystic Realm Impossible. This is impossible. You're so young. How can you be an 8th grade array master? Ao Jingze was completely dumbfounded after hearing Yang Hongwu's words. He was about to become an 8th grade array master? How is this possible? There was only one 8th grade array master in the entire ancient domain. An 8th grade array master was an existence that could stand on equal footing with the leaders of the 4 great immortal mansions. This brat wasn't even 100 years old. How could he become an 8th grade array master? Nothing is impossible. Although I'm not an 8th grade array master now, I only need 3 years at most. In 3 years, I can become an 8th grade array master. Oh, right, I forgot to tell you. I'm not only an array master, I'm also a powerful alchemist. My alchemy skills have already reached the 7th grade. Moreover, the pills that I concoct are all 7th grade perfect quality pills. I don't want those that aren't perfect quality pills. Yang Hanwu even revealed the secret of being an alchemist in order to attack Ao Jingze. Ao Jingze's eyes widened after hearing this. Not to mention his aptitude, if he added his alchemist and array master identity, he was indeed an existence that all the great sects would try to rope in. If they couldn't rope him in, they would try to destroy him. This guy was too terrifying. Not only did he possess the 9 Dragon Saint body, he was also a powerful array master and alchemist. If he was the leader of the first immortal mansion, he would also try his best to rope Yang Hanwu in at all costs. A mere supreme elder was nothing. Even his own grandson, Ao Jingze, was destined to be overshadowed by a heaven-defying monster like Yang Hanwu even though he was a genius. Yang Hanwu was like a firefly competing with the bright moon. They could not be mentioned in the same breath and were not on the same level. "Give up," said Yang Hanwu. "Since you've given up, you can die now." As Yang Hanwu spoke, his large hand reached out, grabbing towards Ao Jingze. "No, don't kill me. Don't kill me. I can become your slave. I can swear a blood oath to become your lackey and slave. I will work for you and never betray you." Ao Jingze looked at the situation. He no longer had any trump cards. Nothing he did could threaten the other party. Therefore, he could only beg for mercy. Ao Jingze had lived for so many years. It had not been easy for him to reach this level. How could he be willing to die just like that? Even though he was a supreme elder, he still had an entire 500 years of lifespan left. Moreover, he even had the chance to charge into the Exalt realm or an even higher realm during these 500 years. So, how could he be willing to die just like that? The longer one lived and the higher one's cultivation was, the more they didn't want to die. This was especially true for someone like Ao Jingze, who had enjoyed countless years of glory, wealth, and power. How could he be willing to die? They no longer had the courage to fight to the death when they were cultivating. If they could survive, even if they had to drag out an ignoble existence, they would not hesitate. As long as they could survive, they could give up everything. What dignity? What dignity? That was all bullshit. As long as they could survive, they would do anything. Yang Hanwu shook his head. "There's no need. I don't need someone like you. You've committed heinous crimes. No, you can't kill me. If you don't kill me, I can tell you a huge secret." Ao Jingze's eyes lit up when he saw that this was not going to work. He thought of a huge secret. "Oh, what secret? If it can move me, perhaps I can spare your life." Yang Hanwu didn't care if he killed this guy. However, if he didn't kill him, he wouldn't lose anything. If he didn't kill him, he could cripple him or turn him into his slave. There was nothing to worry about. There was no problem. The reason he wanted to kill him was because this guy had set up this isolation formation and collected the evil spirit death chi. He had refined an entire city and millions of lives just like that. Although he had benefited greatly from this place, all the evil spirit death chi had been devoured and refined by his demonic hand. Ao Jingze still wanted to kill him. You have to swear that you won't kill me, and I'll tell you, said Aozhengzi. If you don't want to say it, then forget it. You have no room to bargain. Yan Hanwu stepped on his face and said coldly. An incomparably arrogant and lofty Grand Elder was now reduced to a prisoner under Yan Hongwu's feet, trampled under his feet like a dead dog. For such a person, whose life was in his hands, to talk about conditions and make him swear, that was absolutely impossible. All right, I'll talk. Yan Hanwu forcefully stepped on his face, causing him pain. At this time, his cultivation had already been sealed by Yan Hanwu, and his injuries were serious. Just by casually exerting force, his magic power wreaked havoc in his body, causing him to be in so much pain that he wished he was dead. Aozhengzi couldn't resist at all. He was used to living like a prince. It was hard for him to resist this painful torture. If it were a few hundred years ago, he might be able to resist. He might even have the courage to die. However, he couldn't do it now. Spineless. Looking at this guy who didn't have any backbone, Yan Hanwu despised him. At the very least, he had killed many of the people he had met in the ancient desolate continent. Although those people's cultivation base was weaker than his and they had done many bad things like him, they still had the determination to not fear death. On the other hand, this guy didn't have the slightest bit of ambition. Tell me, what is it? Don't waste my time. I still have to rush back to the Tianyi Immortal Mansion. I have something important to do. Yan Hanwu said. It's a demon-venerable secret realm. I know the existence of a demon-venerable secret realm. My disc array, these formations, and the supreme treasures I obtained were all obtained from the demon-venerable secret realm. It's a passage that connects to the demon world. If it's completely opened, you can enter the demon world from there. Even the demon world can enter ancient domain through that passage. Aozhengzi said. There are supreme treasures there, but it's very dangerous. I can take you there. Demon Venerable Secret Realm? A passage to the demon world? Yan Hanwu narrowed his eyes. This was definitely a big news. Yan Hanwu knew about the appearance of the demon race. In the lower world, his foster father, who was also his uncle, Yang Tianjiao, was possessed by the demon race. Therefore, the appearance of the demon race wasn't surprising. There was a passage between the demon world and ancient domain, and even the entire heaven domain. Chapter 640. Modifying the formation disk so you've encountered the demon race? Asked Yan Hanwu. No. Aozhengzi shook his head. If he had really encountered the demon race, it wouldn't have been like this. However, although he hadn't encountered the demon race, he'd still narrowly escaped with his life. Where is the demon venerable secret realm? Asked Yan Hanwu. This was a shocking piece of news. They had to find this tunnel and seal it. Otherwise, if the passage to the demon race was completely opened and the demon race invaded the ancient region, things would be troublesome. Yan Hanwu didn't want to be caught off guard when that time came. Or perhaps, the great demon sealed in the Earth Soul Palace was a great demon of the demon clan? The demon venerable secret realm is. Aozhengzi suddenly exploded. His eyes flickered with red light, and a terrifying power shot out from his hands. It was like a small planet had exploded. That terrifying power was about to blow Yan Hanwu to death. Yan Hanwu had anticipated this. He immediately used the ninth heaven mysterious Yin Tower to protect himself. He also used the water flame lotus to protect himself. Although Aozhengzi had erupted with a huge amount of power, he still couldn't injure Yan Hanwu. However, this time, Aozhengzi seized the opportunity and sped off into the distance. You want to leave? Dream on. Aozhengzi's previous attack had consumed even more of his energy. His injuries had worsened. Everything he'd done before was just an act. Now, he was seriously injured. Do you think I don't know you're pretending? I already knew. All of your efforts were in vain. With Yan Hongwu's shrewdness and the help of Cat and Sherbauer, how could his disguises escape Yan Hongwu's notice? Immediately, the cat launched an attack. It appeared in front of him and clawed at him, leaving bloody marks. Ao Jingzi was slapped back by cat. Yan Hanwu, if you kill me, Tianyi will avenge me, Ao Jingzi shouted at Yan Hanwu. Ao Tianyi, it's fine if he doesn't attack me, but if he does, then he's dead. Yan Hanwu sneered. His opponent had never been Ao Tianyi. No matter how outstanding Ao Tianyi was, he wouldn't put him in his eyes. Even the ancestor of the Z clan wasn't his target. The only person that could make Yan Hanwu take to heart was only one person, and that was Z Tian. You won't be a match for Tianyi. You'll never know what level he has reached. Ao Jingzi shouted. My grandson, Ao Tianyi, has already obtained a powerful monarch weapon and comprehended a supreme monarch law. Once he succeeds, even the patriarch of the Z family will not be his match. Humph. Yan Hanwu snorted coldly. So what if he had a powerful monarch weapon, powerful secret technique, or monarch law? The patriarch of the Z family was extremely powerful. If he was so easy to deal with, he would have killed him long ago. The patriarch of the Z family was extremely powerful. If he unleashed his full strength, he would probably reach the 6th or 7th level of the Venerable Realm. Ao Tianyi was only at the peak of the Divine Realm. If he unleashed his full strength, he would at most be equivalent to the 1st level of the Venerable Realm. Compared to the patriarch of the Z family, it was like the difference between heaven and earth. Not to mention the fact that he had encountered Z Tian. If Z Tian's strength increased again, killing Ao Tianyi would be as easy as crushing an ant. It would be so easy. Demon Venerable Secret Realm. Even if you don't tell me, I can still get the information from your memories. After saying that, Yan Hanwu grabbed Ao Jingzi with his big hand. Terrifying mental strength burst out. It was the power of the mind-refining Heart Sutra. It wanted to devour Ao Jingzi's memories. You want to devour my mental strength and get my memories? You're dreaming. I won't give you the chance even if I die. Ao Jingzi shouted as his body swelled up. His psyche, soul, and primordial spirit exploded, forming a terrifying psychic storm. Damn it! Yang Hongwu's face darkened. He was too careless. He didn't expect this old man to be so determined to detonate his soul and primordial spirit. In this way, his chance of reincarnation would be cut off. He would truly disappear from this world. He would never have another chance. Ordinary people who had cultivated to this level and lived for so many years would be afraid of death. Yang Hanwu didn't expect this old man to understand the horror of life and death at the critical moment. He wasn't afraid of death anymore. In the end, he detonated his soul and his primordial spirit so that Yang Hanwu wouldn't get any of his memories. What's that? Yang Hanwu saw something. It was as small as a needle. If one didn't look carefully, there was no way to find it. Yan Hanwu reached out and caught the needle in his hand. This should be a key, Shi Bauer said. A key? A needle-like key? Yang Hanwu was also surprised. He didn't expect this needle, which had mysterious runes and restrictions on it, to be a key. It was too surprising. It was the first time Yang Hanwu heard that someone had refined a needle into a key. There's nothing strange about it. This needle isn't made of ordinary materials. It's made of the legendary Stone of Fortune. This needle isn't a complete key. The real complete key should be a set. This is just one of the sets. I don't know how many of these key needles there are, Shi Bauer said. Shi Bauer continued, however, we can be sure that the place that the key can open is definitely not simple. It's at least a Supreme Saint-level treasure. Yang Hanwu put away the needle and took an elixir. After recovering a lot, he released Gu Shaoxian. When Gu Shaoxian came out, she was shocked to see that Yang Hanwu had actually killed Ao Jingzi. Junior brother Yang, you actually killed Ao Jingzi? Yes, Ao Jingzi's strength is not to be underestimated. If I didn't have the Immortal Tower to protect me, I'm afraid I could only run away. This set of array discs is not very useful to me. I'll refine it well and give it to you after I've converted all those malicious ghosts. It'll give you the power to protect yourself. Yang Hanwu reached out and grabbed the 1,000 ghosts devouring array. Let me give you a hand. At this time, Bao ejected a stream of pure energy, which cooperated with Yang Hongwu's 1,000 Buddha demon extinguishing art to purify the array discs. The rainbow-colored light constantly washed away the malicious ghosts in the 1,000 ghosts devouring array, washing away the endless evil qi and evil qi. After an unknown amount of time, the evil qi and evil qi of the 1,000 ghosts devouring array dissipated. It turned into pure immortal spiritual power. Not only did the array disk's power not decrease, but it actually increased, which surprised Yang Hanwu. Chapter 641. Tianyu Envoys. After leaving Jingzi Mountain, Yang Hanwu used the teleportation formation of Jingzi Mountain to teleport to Tianyi Immortal Mansion. It was much faster than Yang Hanwu flying. Tianyi Immortal Mansion, I'm back. Yang Hanwu looked at the mountain gate of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion inside. This time around, the things that he had experienced could be said to be a narrow escape. Of course, although he had experienced such great danger, he had also gained a lot. Most importantly, he had met Jing Qiushuang and Hu Xiu'er and learned about their current situation. This was the greatest comfort for Yang Hanwu. As long as they were fine, everything was fine. Plus, he had set up a formation. He no longer had to worry about Zetian capturing Hu Xiu'er and Jing Qiushuang to threaten him. This was very important. Now that he had found the yin-yang coiling dragon grass, it was time to get rid of the poison in Yuji's body. Once the poison was removed, Yuji's cultivation would improve. Then, he could go to the depths of the barbaric mountains to look for the sorcerer race's ruins. It was a pity that he did not get Aozhing's memories when he killed him. He did not know where the demon venerable secret realm was. Otherwise, he might have gained a lot of benefits if he got the location of the demon venerable secret realm. Otherwise, how could Aozhing's be so arrogant? How could he be so sure that his grandson, Ao Tianyi, would become so powerful that he was confident that he could defeat the old ancestor of the Z family? Therefore, there must be a lot of benefits in the demon venerable secret realm. Maybe he could find Ao Tianyi. Junior brother Yang is back. Seeing Yang Hanwu and Gu Shaoxian, the disciple guarding the gate shouted. He was the disciple of the leader, and also someone that Tengaku valued. He was his brother. There were great benefits to winning him over. Except for those 9 people, no one dared to offend him. Junior brother Yang. Senior sister Gu. One by one, they bowed to Yang Hanwu and Gu Shaoxian. Yang Hanwu and Gu Shaoxian nodded. Has anything happened in the immortal abode recently? Yang Hanwu asked casually. Towards these disciples, Yang Hanwu would not reject them at all. Yang Hanwu wouldn't do that as long as the person wasn't a fence-sitter and didn't have a special purpose. It didn't matter if they were strong or weak, geniuses or ordinary disciples, they were all the same. They all needed friends. This. The disciple guarding the gate hesitated and stammered. Yang Hanwu frowned. Something must have happened. Could it be related to him? Tell me, what is it? Yang Hanwu asked. If it was truly related to him, he would know about it sooner or later. However, his status in the Tianyi Immortal Mansion was most definitely not low. Even some elders, or even supreme elders, might not necessarily have a higher status than him. Someone was looking for trouble with him? On this point, Yang Hanwu did not quite believe. After all, with leader Tianyi and Tengaku there, who would dare to harm him? Yes, someone is harassing Miss Yuji. Yang Hanwu frowned and asked, who is it? Who is so bold? Yuji should be at the God-killing peak. The God-killing peak was Tengaku's residence. Who would dare to cause trouble there? That was simply courting death. This matter surprised Yang Hanwu as well. To think that there would be people who dared to find trouble with the God-slaying peak. Didn't Tengaku stop them? It's a messenger of the Tianyu domain. A messenger of the Tianyu domain? Yang Hongwu's face darkened. What messenger of the Tianyu domain? That's right. It's someone from the Tianyu domain. He said that he came down to deal with the demon race. The disciple said. A messenger of the Tianyu domain. Yang Hongwu took a deep breath. What's his cultivation? Is he in the venerable realm? Yes, he's very strong. Tengaku was defeated. The disciple whispered, Junior brother Yang, before your cultivation improves, you must not cause trouble for the messenger of the Tianyu domain. Take these pills, said Yi Futian. Yang Hongwu took out a porcelain bottle and handed it to the disciple. Thank you for your kind intentions. I don't care if it's a messenger of the Tianyu domain or a messenger of hell. How dare he have designs on me? He's simply courting death. Yang Hongwu's eyes flashed with a cold light. So what if it was a messenger of the Tianyu domain? So what if it was a venerable? If he dared to have designs on his woman, he must die. Not to mention that this guy was only a venerable. Even if he was a saint, he would be suppressed by the laws of the lower realm. He wouldn't be able to unleash his full strength. Therefore, if he unleashed his full strength, it shouldn't be difficult to kill him. Yang Hongwu was about to return to the god-killing peak to look for Yu Ji, but at this moment, a message appeared in the communication talisman in his hand. Yang Hongwu took a look and saw that it was a message from the leader of Tianyi. It seemed that he already knew that he had returned. He was probably looking for him about the messenger of the Tianyu domain. Yang Hongwu picked up the communication talisman. He wanted to see what he had to say. After all, he was his master. If he didn't even protect his disciple's woman well, it would be better if he didn't have such a master. Yang Hongwu was very uncomfortable about his woman being harassed. Leader Tianyi, the dignified manager of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion, the supreme existence of the entire Tianyi Immortal Mansion, couldn't handle such a small matter well. Then he was too weak as a leader. Yang Hongwu, you're back? Yes, Yang Hongwu said. Come to me immediately. I have something important to tell you. Leader Tianyi said to Yang Hongwu anxiously. Okay. Yang Hongwu nodded. After dozens of breaths, Yang Hongwu appeared in the cave abode where the leader lived. Master. Well, I think you've heard some things. Leader Tianyi looked at Yang Hongwu and said. Yang Hongwu nodded. Yes, but that messenger of the Tianyu domain coveted my woman and Yu Ji. I won't agree to it. The messenger of the Tianyu domain is nothing in my eyes. Yang Hongwu's tone was very cold and murderous. Yang Hongwu, who had cultivated the all-directional killing fist, had a terrifying murderous aura when condensed. He had only released a little of it. If he released it all, there were probably not many people in the entire Tianyi Immortal Mansion who had a stronger murderous aura than him. Even those old antiques couldn't have more murderous aura than Yang Hongwu. You're tuning into the Mythic Realms YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.